Yo, what's happening,
What's
man?
going
Listen,
on?
y'all
Yo,
see I got the boys in the room tonight, man. If you looked at the thumbnail, then you already know what type of party we having tonight. The party that Triple P family loves. Shout out everybody in the chat, man. We got
Yeah,
Ryan in the
what's going
chat.
on?
Know what I mean? Bandito, man. De Niro, appreciate you. Purple Gang, you already know what's up, man.
what's
Let's
up?
go with it.
Yo,
What's
Hey,
what's
look.
up?
up? Hey, actually, could I
Yeah, do you
shout out
think?
Ryan 1234? Ryan, you actually won a card from us a couple days ago. You weren't there at the end, so hit me up on one of our social medias and let me get your mailing address so I can send that card out to you.
Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Shout out Ryan. That my boy, man. De Niro in the building, man. We got Blood Eagle in the building. What's happening, man? We got 8 people in the building already. Y'all make sure I hit that like button and y'all make sure y'all go and
Yeah,
subscribe to GG Sports Podcast and Purple and Gold for Days.
I
If
should
you don't do
follow
that
me.
first, then you ain't rocking with RAP for real. You really ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go rock with them to rock with me. You know what I mean? But shout out to Bob, man. My worthless opinion. Let's get it. Now, this is a
Worthless
disclaimer.
already here.
Look, this is going to be the disclaimer, y'all. Before we start this show, listen, we have nothing against Kirk Cousins as a human being.
No,
All right, we just going to throw that
definitely.
out there. This is entertainment. We judge him by how he plays on the field and what we think the Vikings should do. These are still our opinions, and there will be facts mixed in. You feel me? And look, we do not want to, slander his character. We know he has children. They may watch this one day, and we don't want to sit here and talk too crazy about him. But you know
Right.
how we get down, though, man. We still got to talk about it one way or the other. So
Mhm.
appreciate everybody that's going to tap in tonight because I know it's going to get lit, man. I know it's
Yeah,
going to get lit,
yeah.
man. So, hey, we're gonna kick it off like this, man. Jamie, man, I appreciate you coming, man. It's your
Oh,
first time on the channel with the
right.
boy, man.
No, pleasure's all
Dave's been
mine,
here
man.
before, but Jamie's here, man. Listen, so it's crazy. Before we start, too, let me say this. Shout out Victoria in the building. Hey, you already know what's about to happen. So get your popcorn. I'm gonna just tell you right now. But look, I was on GG Sports Podcast. I just want to say this little quick story before we
Yeah.
really start getting into the business, right? I was on GG Sports when we first started our podcast. I reached out to them fellas. They allowed me to come on their show, and that was, that was a lookout, right? I
Mhm.
appreciate that. We connected from
Of
that day
course, of
on, and
course.
we've been
Yeah.
family ever since. But then
Yes,
I
yeah.
got on. We came together another time, and I told Jamie. I said, "Look, man, I'm all in on Kirk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all in, man. Hey, that's my boy. He's blase.
Yeah.
And Jamie's like, yo, not yet, bro. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, man. I mean, I stayed true to that. I wasn't gonna go all on board. There's no question in my mind that Cousins took a big step for me. I think with anybody, any fan, he obviously it was his best year, at least like from my mindset, whatever. But I needed to see it in playoffs. There's too many times in the spotlight where he's, kind of curdled a little bit in that area. Obviously the playoffs is the biggest spotlight you can get to, not just the first round of the playoffs, but obviously like heading to the Super Bowl. Once you get the Super Bowl, is nothing bigger than that. So I think the thing with me is like, does he have the mental chops to get to a Super Bowl and actually be able to step up in there, specifically if it comes down to his arm and his decision making to win that big game? I'm not convinced. I wasn't convinced. I wanted to. I was hoping it would happen. I think his decision he made with TJ Hawkinson in that playoff game, it it was like that was like the one little thing. Like he could have threw it to Justin Jefferson. He could have threw it up in the air. I don't even care as long as it was past the first down, and I would have felt probably better about it. But it's like, why did you make that one decision? That one of the games or the season ending decision. Like you could have done anything else. The one thing you could have done that for sure, pretty much for sure, meant you're not getting a first down. And I just like you shouldn't do in that spotlight. Light, I don't. You're not supposed to do that, even if you played well that entire game up until that one play. Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt before, and then he wasn't able to convince me otherwise.
Yeah,
Pretty
for
much.
sure, man. For sure. All right, go ahead, Dave. Real quick, man. Give a quick rundown on your feeling of Kirk as of right now, this moment at 9 o'clock while we're on live. Well, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I know
9 o'clock
everybody.
Eastern. My
Yeah.
opinion of Kirk Cousins is the same as that it has been from day one. He is a very good quarterback, but he's
Mhm.
not a great quarterback.
Agree.
You've got 3 factions within Vikings Nation. You got the Kirk Stans, who thinks he walks on water, who thinks he's already better than Fran Tarkington or any other quarterback that's
Right.
ever
Yeah,
donned a
yeah.
Viking jersey. You
Crazy.
got the Kirk Cousins haters that think he's worse than that he's worse than Tavares Jackson and Christian Ponder, that no matter what, everything that goes wrong is his fault. Then there's the sane group in the middle, which is, okay, he doesn't suck. He's one of the top 10 to 15 human beings as quarterback on a planet of 7-point-some billion people. For anybody who says that he sucks, I'm sorry, you just hating for no reason. Now, if you think he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks on this planet right now, I'm going to say the same thing. He's in the middle. And some people just get so agitated if you call him a little above average or if you call him good, not great. What Kirk Cousins is one of about 6 or 7 quarterbacks that obviously you could do a lot worse than Kirk Cousins. You could do Andy Dalton, for an example. You could do this quarterback or that quarterback that are just backups at best. Of course, he's better than those guys. But Super Bowl winning quarterback, unless the team around him is very, very well constructed and a bunch of luck, I'm sorry. The answer is no. So my feeling on him, he's good, not great. Yeah. And it was the right move to bring him in 2018 when we thought the team was ready. It's been the wrong move to keep him for the last couple of years when this team is not in a position to support him in the first place. You're just throwing good money after bad. So as Rap said to begin, this isn't that we hate Kirk Cousins as a person. This isn't that we think he's garbage.
I just hate him as a quarterback.
We just don't think that he's a guy that is.
I just hate him as a quarterback.
There was a dude who put on Twitter like a 20-tweet thread about all of Kirk Cousins, good, bad, and indifferent. And the last one he said was, Kirk Cousins is not a guy that's going to torpedo your franchise. He's also not the guy that's going to elevate your franchise, which is what good, not great really means. So my opinion of Kirk Cousins is I know what he is, I know what our limits are, and I know that at this point I'm ready to go in a different direction because I'm sick of seeing a team barely make the playoffs or at best get to the divisional round. Yes, we could do worse than him, but so what if we do? I'd rather take the chance of doing better and not be content with just being in the middle. That's my opinion.
Definitely. That's facts. I 100% agree with you, Justin, on pretty much everything you said. Rap, man, what do you lay it out there.
First of all, man, I'm gonna put the Lokes on, man, because it's about to get popping in this bitch. Hey, look, y'all. Hey, look, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Hey, check this out. We got 16 people that was watching, and there's only 13 likes, man. That math don't add up. Hey, look here. We're gonna read some of these comments real quick. My worthless opinion, the comment's big, so I don't want to pin it, right? Because it'll block Dave's face. Doesn't the idea of Netflix cameras following Cousins around all season kind of cast a shadow of the suspicion on a lot of the off-field and some of the on-field stuff that happened this year? I mean, my opinion on that is I don't know, man. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Look, I commented on GG Sports Podcast. I said, I wonder if his agent is asking for like 90 million 3 years to Netflix, or is he just going to year to year it? You know what I mean? Like, what is he going to do to Netflix? You know what I mean?
He's getting paid for sure.
It's not surprising his agent going crazy.
He took that immediately. They came up with him with that Netflix deal, and it's not because if you think of all right, which quarterbacks are going to be on a Netflix series, Mahomes, that makes sense. Marcus Mariota really doesn't make a lot of sense. But Kirk Cousins, like no one's going to be thinking like Kirk Cousins. He seems like someone that wants the spotlight or whatever. You don't really think so, but for the right price, I think that guy is definitely down.
Facts
for that.
Facts. Shout out Bob. He said he doesn't have the killer instinct. That's a fact, Bob. That's a fact. We got Eric in the building, man. Shout out my boy Eric, man. He said, Skull. He said, time's up for Kirk Cousins. Skull, let's go. See, that's why I rock with the Triple P family. See, because we don't play around, man. Everybody feel like RAP. Nah, for the ones who don't feel like us, we still love you. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like you're still our family. But guess what? Tonight just might not be the night for you to be here. I'm gonna just keep it real. Tonight might not just be the night. You know what I mean? Come back and tap in another night. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, we gonna hurt your boy feelings here in a minute. Because I'm finna get on him. You know what I mean? Because one thing I don't like, I'll just say this real quick, and then I'm gonna hand the table over because we gonna let the fellas talk tonight. You know what I mean? Look, he just ain't got it. I just love the comments, man. I just love the comments, man. Skull brother, shout out my boy David in the building, man. Shout you out. But I just feel like this, man. This last game against the Giants, it just summed up Kirk Cousins, man. That last throw just summed him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my thing is this, man. Me and Day actually talk about this, and we say, why wait to take a chance on a quarterback? You know, now you got people who say, well, if they take a chance and they miss, people's jobs are on the line. It don't matter. It's not my job.
They're on the
I don't
line
care.
anyway.
Right. I
It's
think
not my
that's
job.
Yeah. I want a GM that will swing for the fences. I mean, I don't want the GM that comes in and he's more worried about keeping his job.
Yeah, like a confident GM,
Bowl.
right? A GM that knows, like, hey,
his number one
I
goal
know
is
my
Super Bowl.
guy. Yeah, like I know my guy. I have confidence that I'm gonna pick this guy, and I know he's gonna be our guy. Like,
right,
I mean, that's what you want in a GM, right?
That's what you have to have, man. That's
all this like sliding your feet and saying, well, if I do make the wrong choice, I'm gonna lose my job, bro. You can't think like that. You know what I mean? You have to take the chance, man. That's what winning a Super Bowl is, because you're not gonna ever win a Super Bowl being halfway. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go all in. Every team that usually wins a Super Bowl, they're an all-in type football team. You know what I mean? They will do whatever it takes to fill holes on their team in the offseason, and they'll just do whatever it takes to win, man. And you need a quarterback that can move around in today's football game, man. And Kirk cannot do that. He's a statue. You feel me? Like, it just is what it is, man. Shout out Sarah. She says, I have a better chance at winning the Powerball than Kirk winning the Super Bowl. Oh, man. Listen, boy, this junk getting crazy. But
to your point, Rap, to your point about when you also have to know when you go all in and when you say, you know what, I need to hold back and I need to know when to shoot the shot. 2018, as I said earlier, was definitely the time to shoot the shot. 2009, when Brett Favre became available, you had a team that won the division and lost in the wild card round. Does that sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? And Brett Favre became available. You knew it was going to be at 1 or 2 years at best. So you took your shot. The problem is that once they've taken their shot, they have deluded themselves into thinking, oh, no. We still got a couple more shots to shoot here. No, you don't. Okay. Yeah. Now, to your point about the last game, the Giants game, about it being a microcosm of Kirk Cousins, good and bad. It is a microcosm of Kirk Cousins that he really made one mistake in that game. Right. Let's be honest. Yeah. They only punted twice or maybe 3 times. One of them was that stupid third down Justin Jefferson.
But hold up, Dave. Before you try to stick up for him real quick, before you try to stick up for him saying he only made one mistake, I'm going to let you finish. Before you try to stick up, though, and say he only made one mistake, listen, that one mistake, though, was the worst mistake you could possibly make. You know what I'm saying?
Is that the second to last drive, let's throw 2 screen passes that we know ain't going to work. And then, so the problem that Kirk Cousins really is that he's good enough to say, do we really want to get rid of a guy at this level, trying to get to this level and being afraid we're going to get to this level? He made one mistake, but at the end of the day, that's the microcosm of Kirk Cousins. It's just like, well, he only made one mistake. I'm like, yeah, it was one mistake. And it's unfair to the offense that they had to play near perfect because of how bad that defense was. But at the end of the day, this is the NFL playoffs. You are not going to have perfect conditions all the time. It's unfortunate that the defense couldn't do it just a little bit more so that Kirk and the offense didn't have to be near perfect. But that's the reality of the situation. Jalen Hurts, outside of his fumble in the Super Bowl, played an outstanding game. He made one mistake. Are we going to blame Jalen Hurts for that loss? No. He played his butt off, but it's
I'm blaming him. You ain't blaming him. I'm telling you, I'm blaming him.
But my point overall is that there's always something. It's, well, the defense didn't do anything. Well, the offensive line broke down. Well, this, well, that. At some point, you're the common denominator after 10 years. And at some point, it's not even hate. It's just saying, I know what your ceiling is. I know
evidence.
The best you got.
It's just evidence.
And the best you got is definitely better than 75% of the quarterbacks in this league. But it's not enough to win a Super Bowl. And I'm willing to give that up for the chance of finding somebody else who has a higher ceiling, even if they have a lower floor.
Okay, go ahead real quick before I let you go, Jamie, on that. Yeah. Dave, yes, the Hate 8 show was born, man. I'm telling you, this is not the chat for you, Dave. I swear, I'm trying to tell. This is not the chat for you, man. I'm telling you, you definitely are the minority. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, but we still love you though, dog. You are the minority. But yeah, man, how you feel about it, Jamie, man?
Yeah, man. It comes down, especially since the entire season he was making those plays when it was fourth down. He was bringing us back in fourth downs almost every chance he got. And I just think the fact that you're in playoffs and the one time you didn't do it this year was that one moment. I just feel like he had to have some sort of fluster. He was flustered to some extent because for one, I think he could have rolled out. Even with his athleticism, he still could have rolled out with that pressure coming from the interior. I think that was possible. Any other quarterback would have done that. Any other quarterback that we've seen in playoffs would have rolled out on that play. But he stood there, he saw the pressure, and his first idea was, all right, let me get it back. Let me get it to Hawkinson. And I just that just says flustered to me. And you can't have that. If you're going to be an elite quarterback, you have to have that mental. And that's what I think separates. I think he's very talented, and I think he has the ability to be that. But man, he just is missing that one little thing. And I don't know. You have to have that for 4 games to win a Super Bowl. So
that's like saying I ran out in front of a car 10 times and it only killed me once. Or
that's
one
brilliant.
Killed me. Yeah, a facts, man. Like I'm telling you right now, man. You know, this is my thing, man. My thing is this, man. Kirk does not want a Super Bowl like that. I can tell you right now, like to me, and this is obviously an opinion thing because we're not inside of his brain. But if I read this guy, I said this on my last live, and I said, man, Kirk just doesn't give me the vibes of, you know what, like my ultimate goal is to bring a Super Bowl to Minnesota. Like I think he's just okay with making money. You know, his family's good. He loves his children. And like I said, we had a disclaimer. There wasn't this many people in the building before the show started. Listen, we said we are not here to slander him as a human being. Yeah. All right. We're all of this talk is about him as a football player because we are fans that spend money buying jerseys, watching the games, going to the games. You know what I'm saying? So we have the right to have an opinion. Me, us 3 on this panel, all y'all in the chat, we all have a right to have an opinion. You know what I mean? He chose to be in the NFL and be in the bright lights, and we get to criticize his play. It is what it is. Right. But as a father, as all that, as a father and all that, man, nothing but respect for him, stand-up guy. Right?
Absolutely.
But my thing is this. I just don't think that he wants to win a Super Bowl. I don't think that's important to him. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, man.
I think it's
probably important, but not the number one priority.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think, I do think it's more about I don't blame him. Like, if I made it to the NFL and I was making that money, and I would do it for sure. But I think that's not, you want a quarterback that wants a Super Bowl or nothing type of thing. Tom Brady, for instance, obviously throughout his career, he's taken less money just so his team can be better to win a championship. Kirk Cousins is not going to do that. And he's not even an eighth of the quarterback Tom Brady is.
Nah, he wouldn't.
Yeah,
exactly. So like he's like, man, my money is more important than what we need.
Right. And it comes to the GMs too. That's why, like your point earlier, like your GMs should probably have that same mindset. They're not just in it for the money. They also want a championship more than anything. If they're not, then you're just never going to win a championship, I don't think.
No, Kirk Cousins cares about winning the negotiation more than he does winning on the football field. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Not that he doesn't care about winning,
right?
But it's not his top priority.
It's not like he's not out there having fun and is not enjoying himself, but
it's just like he's okay with losing. That's all it is, because he knows his life's going to go on. You know what I mean? Right. He's going to go home and he's still going to get his little commercials and his little Netflix deals and shit. You know what I mean? It's just a game. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just a game.
If you really want to think about it, that documentary that came out in 2018, where he had cameras in his house with his wife and he was all excited. Okay, we got the Jets to get to this number now. So now we can go back to the Vikings and say the Jets are going to give me this. So now you got to give me this. That should tell you right then and there. The fact that, and again, we're all human. We all want to make money. We all want to take care of our families, all that good stuff. I don't begrudge him that. Right. But when I see that from the quarterback, from the leader, it's like you are more happy with your wife celebrating that you got to play 2 teams off of each other and get what you wanted to get. Now that's all well and good. But what really got me is at the end of 2018, after they lost to the Bears JV squad at home to miss the playoffs, his press conference, he's just kind of ho-hum. Next year we'll use more hand signals in our audibles instead of that. Dude, we just came off the NFC Championship game, and you were billed as the missing piece, and you don't even care that we just barely missed the playoffs.
And you know what's crazy is that
That
experiment
was
is
it.
over.
You
That
almost picked the
experiment is
Jets.
over.
You almost picked the Jets over us, and we almost went to the Super Bowl.
Bruh, like, and that's
you
the
just
thing,
want
like
that
that
money.
experiment of you're the missing piece, like that's over with. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
that was done.
Yeah.
It
Now the
doesn't-
missing piece
oh
is
my-
a real franchise quarterback.
Yeah, he took less money than what the Jets were offering him, but it was still leverage to get the Vikings to come up to
Right.
the number he wanted to, Dave. Okay, that isn't really the point. The point is that he was more excited. What's up, Zach? He was more excited about winning that negotiation and getting everything he could. And again, let me be clear. I am not begrudging him that. Every single one of us,
I
if we
am.
could- no, if every single one of us go to our boss tomorrow, get some more money, we take it. We're not we're not saying it like that. But what we are saying is that it's like he's playing, it's like he's in a school play. And instead of it being Shakespeare, he's playing the part of the high school captain of the football team quarterback. He's playing a role. And he's really good at that role when he can study for it and when things go according to script. Sound familiar? Again, if it's going according to script, Kirk Cousins is absolutely a top 5 quarterback, but it rarely goes to script all the time. And so you need to be able to handle things off script. That's really all we're saying is that, okay, we know what he is and we know what he isn't. So,
and what he isn't is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
We know that for a fact.
And the fact is this, even the one playoff game that he did win, just think about it. We won in overtime. Like, it still was a game that came down to the last damn play. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like he went out there and dominated and shit. Like, we still the one game he did win, he barely won. You know what I'm saying? Like, a win is a win, don't get me wrong. But he barely
for his entire career. Over 10 years now, right?
10. I think he's going on year 12, right? Or 11.
Well, he wasn't starting those first. It's 10 years as a
other
starter.
than a little bit his rookie. Was it a little bit his rookie year? Or
I think like 4
right
or 5
after RG3
games.
tore his ACL or whatever.
He isn't
that's quite a career to have one playoff victory.
What's up, Zach, man? Appreciate you, Zach, tapping in too. Yeah, Nudge, he isn't a winner. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a facts. Like, and that's proven that he isn't a winner. Like, it just is what it is, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's the type of quarterback that's safe. You know, he's considered a safe type of guy.
He's a high-end game manager. That's
exactly.
I think he's a high-end game manager.
That's what I think
he doesn't
too.
pass that.
That's what I think too, man. You know what I mean? And it's sickening. And there's a question up here, man, because this can continue to get the conversation a little deeper with us tonight. As Josh said, who can we get to replace him? Because that's obviously, as we're sitting here talking about Kirk Cousins, we obviously have to have a replacement plan, right? Because
to be competitive too.
Yeah, because we can't sit up here and bash him. And I think all of us can agree that he's obviously going to be our quarterback next season. And we all can agree that we're not going to go to the Super Bowl next season. I mean, straight up, like, as fans, we're going to sit here and say, we're going to be hopeful. We're going to be hopeful.
We're going to jump on board for the season.
But the evidence we have, knowing that if number 8 is our quarterback, our chances are, they're pretty low. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, right? I mean, we have evidence there in front of us. But my plan to replace would be to just take a chance in the draft right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like or Trey Lance. I know Trey Lance was a conversation. I know Dave sitting here talking about the Zach Wilson. Hey, look. Hey, some people are off on Zach Wilson, but me, I don't care. You take a chance on somebody. He still was a number 2 overall pick, and he played for the New York Jets.
I ain't going there.
If you paid a 3rd round pick for Zach Wilson, I would take that. I'll take that chance. 2nd overall pick.
I mean,
I did not. Don't get me wrong. What's that?
To be
not to start next year.
He'd be behind. He'd be behind Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he would be behind Kirk Cousins.
I would only take that chance just because he is a 2nd overall pick. It could fail, but a 3rd round pick. We just traded a 3rd round pick for, or what was it? 3rd or 4th round pick for Rager.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
4th round
you
pick.
have.
So I can handle a 3rd round pick.
And the point we're making is you have to at least try to gamble. You have to play to win the game, man. Like, if you don't try, you're never. If you keep sitting back and saying, "Well, who's going to replace him?" We're going to be saying that until Kirk's 40 years old, and then when he turns 40, we're going to have to replace him. So what are we going to do? Why are we waiting until he's 40? You know what I'm saying?
If you're talking about a Zach Wilson for a 3rd round pick, I'd rather just take a Hendon Hooker. And
that too.
That I'm listening. I'm listening to that, but I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. What perfect timing, Jason. There you go. I'm definitely taking my chances more on a Hendon Hooker to say let him sit behind Kirk for a year.
He's coming off of a big injury, I think, too.
Yeah,
Isn't
he
he
is, and he's up there in age too. I think he's already like 26.
I think he's like 24, 25.
He's like
no,
two
he's
years
like
older
26.
than he's like 2 years
like
older than
25,
Zach
26.
Wilson.
There's my boy Tui for the Hope, man. Shout out to Tui for the Hope with the super chat. We are waiting for you, man. We done been going in. You're gonna have to go back and rewatch this thing. We're just getting started. Man. Appreciate you super chat. He said trade Kirk and draft a future QB. Justin wants Zimmer back too.
I don't even know where that bullshit started.
Justin's the Kirk lover now.
Yeah. I don't know where this Zimmer stuff
my thing is this. Like, I mean, we have to take a chance, and I'm gonna keep saying that. Like, we have to take a chance at some point, whether it's this draft or in free agency, bro. Like, I'm not gonna and shout out to my boy SK, but he did a live yesterday saying we should extend Kirk for 3 years. No, not I mean, you lost your mind, SK, and I hope you watch this, and I'm gonna tell you about yourself when we get on live together. Because look, extend him for 3 more years. Are you serious? 3 more years so we can have off seasons talking like this? Is that what you really
every
want?
single year? Yeah, man. I don't know about that. I think if my money is, I think we give him another 1-year extension. If I'm going to put my money, that doesn't mean I want that, but that's where I put my money, which sucks, man. I wish we could even give him a 1-year extension without the, what is it called? The trade.
No trade clause.
No trade clause. Yeah. I'd rather have that. So then at least we have a chance to trade him, but it sucks. Like us making that extension last year with the no trade clause, that was the worst thing. So now we're going in this season and we can't even trade him. We're just stuck with him. And now if we do another extension, by the time we're not going to get any value from him at all. He'll just finish his contract and leave. And that's what sucked. That's what I hated about the decision last year. I'd rather have had the Vikings extend him for 2 years last year. At the time, I would have been pissed probably. But now looking back, I wish it would extend for 2 years with no trade clause, just so we know we could have had that value there.
We could have shipped his ass to Texas.
Yeah, because his value, don't get me wrong, like his value is as high as ever right now. Like, I for sure think we could have got a first round pick this season.
I don't think so. You don't
think so? You don't think any team would have done it?
Because you want to know
teams
why?
Traded for Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz. But you got to remember though. You got to remember too. These teams they'll learn from their mistakes as well, especially if they have the same GMs and stuff.
Kirk Cousins tricky, man. Kirk Cousins tricky,
bro. If you look at the stats, man, you can't get. That's the thing. People might get blinded by the stats. You know what I mean? But you got to be judged off what have you won. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you have to be judged off. Like, if I'm a GM and I'm going after a veteran quarterback, I'm going to say how many years you've been in the league and what have you won? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to hear about you playing for the worst defense, but how your offensive line is this and that. You know what I mean? Because obviously, offensive line good enough for you to get 4,000 yards every season. So, you know what I mean? Like, it must be good enough. You know what I mean? Because if you can't win with that, then obviously that's just a sign that there's small things happening in between games is the reason why we're not winning. You know what I mean? Because it's holding up enough where you can get good ass stats. You know what I'm saying?
Let me address a couple of things that we started on and one that came up in the chat. So Hendon Hooker just turned 25 about a month ago. So if he sat for 1 year behind Kirk Cousins, he'd be 26 when he started. And if the same people that want to tell us that Kirk Cousins is good to go for another 3-year extension because quarterbacks are playing until they're 40, well, that logic should apply to all quarterbacks. What quarterback
playing until they're 40 though? Like, that's what I'm trying to.
Tom Brady just played till he's 45. So Cousins definitely played till he's 43.
What we're not going to do, we're not going to compare Kirk to Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Brett Favre, none of those. We're not doing that. Because they're in different categories.
In all seriousness, I would be okay with under, but to your point, if I have to accept 1 more year of Kirk Cousins and then we know we're moving on after that, okay, I'm cool with that. What I'm not about to accept is 1 year extension as long as there's no trade clause at the end of it so that the Vikings have the option after this next season, I guess. But a 3 or 4 year deal, no thanks. There was a chat in here wanted to go off topic a moment ago about trading Dalvin Cook for Xavier Woods. I think he meant Xavier Howard because both you and I read Howard.
Yeah, we would do that.
We've both done videos.
We can figure that out.
If we can figure that out, I would do that. I would definitely do that, Jason.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. And I love Dalvin Cook, but
Me too.
Man, that
No, getting a
obviously the
starting
cornerbacks
cornerback in
is a
Xavier Howard.
much bigger problem for us.
Even
Xavier-
though like these two fellas, just so the chat knows, man, there's 23 people in the building, man. Appreciate y'all.
What's up,
Y'all make sure hit the like button.
What's going
Make sure
on,
you
guys?
follow. Make sure you follow the GG Sports Podcast. Make sure you follow Purple and Go for Days, because if you rock with RAP, you gotta rock with them. You know what I'm saying? That just is that's the
How come
rule.
my name don't come up on this?
Like that's the house rules, man. It's because I got. Hold on, let me take this off. Matter of fact, so I can let me take this. Let me get rid of this real quick. So, because I don't. And y'all know to drop something in the super chat to support the content. You know what I'm saying? We out here working. If you got something, drop it in the super chat. There you go.
I got you.
All right, I got you now, man. I took that thing off for you. But look, man, I like. I'm a little different from these two fellas though, as far as Dalvin Cook. Like me, I'm more in on keeping Dalvin Cook, restructuring Dalvin Cook, only because if there was if running backs were a dime a dozen, then why isn't there 32 Dalvin Cooks?
Yeah,
I mean, just keep it like that. Why isn't there then? If that's
I think Dalvin Cook's really good, and I would say I'm pretty in between. I like Dalvin Cook, and if we extended him, I'd be totally cool with that. But obviously, I understand the side of like 14 million for a running back, especially when we're a pass happy offense right now.
Right.
That's the part. Like, I love Dalvin Cook, and I would like if we kept him, I'd be pumped. But that's what's gonna throw me off a little bit is that price tag, and that he won't. And it comes down to like he doesn't want to do an extension. At least that's what he said recently.
But you want to know what makes me more mad, Jamie? What makes me mad is we always willing to throw money at Kirk Cousins, but when we got a real elite, when we have an actual elite player at his position, it's he costs too much. You know what I'm saying? But Kirk, we can just extend him to death. You know what I mean?
Regardless, because Alan Lazard's about to get paid 11 million projected, and that's crazy to me that running backs value is so low right now. So I mean that's part of it, but which is unfair. I'd have to say that because I love running backs.
It is unfair, man, because running back's a tough position too.
The running back is a luxury piece. It's like
at this point.
Like, for example, take the Buffalo Bills. If the Buffalo Bills could get their hands on Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry, they're willing to overspend for that luxury because that would be like the last piece. When it's
look at the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Dude,
when
that
it's your
changed
last
everything.
piece, that changes
offense.
everything. Right. Absolutely.
Exactly, man. Shout out to Dylan in the building, man. Rap about to get rid of this dude for a ham sandwich and a 7-Up. I'm telling you. You already know what's
Dylan,
up.
you funny.
You already know what's up, Dylan. You know the routine, man. You know, rap is on cue tonight. You already know that, man. Appreciate you, D. Lindstrom. Appreciate you. We in the building tonight, man. You know, I got the fellas with me, and hey, you see the thumbnail, man. It is what it is, man. Somebody got to do it, goddamn it.
Right.
Somebody got to do it. You know what I mean? Why not Purple Pocket Podcast with one half of GG Sports, and then we got Purple and Go Up for Days in here. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we got to do it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So where you guys at with the quarterbacks in this draft? The first round quarterbacks. How are you guys feeling about Anthony Richardson?
I like Anthony
Richardson now.
I like him. If he's there at 23, I take
him.
I don't trade up for him.
You don't trade up for him?
No, I don't trade up for him.
If you do trade up for him, you would still kind of be like intrigued.
I'm lit. Yeah, I'm lit. Yeah, if we trade up for him, I'm lit.
Yeah, we're talking about taking chances, and he's the high risk, high reward, as high of a risk, high reward guy that you'll ever see.
Right.
Yes.
Especially, and I do think Kirk Cousins could be a good player to play behind and learn from. And even from the financial side, potentially, probably for sure. The financial.
Yeah, he gonna be like, man, listen, I'm gonna link you up with I'm gonna link you up with my agent.
Maybe it's not a good idea for him.
He'll rape these motherfuckers for you. I'm telling you right now, he gonna get them. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's not a good idea for him to link up. He gonna 1 year us to death. You know what I mean? Like, for real. That's what I don't like. All that 1 year shit, man. Get your ass out of here, man. Go 1 year somebody else. You know what I mean? I'm done with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, but I think
like, where the commitment at?
Excited if we got Anthony Richardson. I think it's one of those things where it's like it could fail miserably, but man, you're really taking that swing for the fence. And if it works out in your favor, you're getting a guy who's from a talent, like the shit you can't teach is nothing like him, right? If you
look at things like this, right? Like I thought about this too, because the shout out to the 33rd team, because they did the comparison with us and the Kansas City Chiefs with Alex Smith. When they drafted, man, they were winning 10 to 12 games for the last 4 seasons before they drafted, and even the season before they drafted, the season that They lost. They won 11 games, I think, and then they drafted Patrick Mahomes with that 10th pick, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like after and I mean, it just shows you like. And they were saying that Patrick Mahomes was a wild card. He's off platform. You know what I mean? He needs a lot of work. He don't have no footwork. Like I tagged videos in that video I did on Anthony Richardson. They're in the comments because Dave tried to say something, and I put 2 videos there where you got big platforms saying all of these things, man. These are top NFL analysis guys that just know it all, right? And they're saying that and it's funny because you have to take that chance. It don't matter. It's just like when the Packers had Brett Favre, they drafted Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Say the same exact thing now. I hope it doesn't work out in the same scenario, but Rodgers with Jordan Love.
They drafted Jordan. Was he a first round pick?
Yeah. First round pick, like around the 20th pick. And he's another big arm guy, kind of like he was compared to Mahomes, which hopefully he just isn't, because I don't want to deal with another quarterback.
Exactly, bro. But you know what? It's like, why are we the only team that it's against the law to do something like that? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though.
Especially right now, yeah.
We shouldn't even be judging it on the result that was Patrick Mahomes. Let's take Patrick Mahomes out of it for a second. The concept isn't find a Patrick Mahomes. The concept is Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins are very, very similar. I'm not going to go down the road of which one better or who's got more arm strength, whatever. The bottom line is Kansas City said to themselves, we have gone as far as we can go with this guy. And it doesn't even mean that it's his fault. It doesn't mean that he's the one costing us games. It just means it is what it is. We have gone as far as we can, and we're going to take a risk. We're going to risk a team that has gone to the playoffs 4 straight years, gotten to the divisional round 3 out of the 4 of those times and then lost once in the wild card, and we're going to take a chance. Well, what are the Vikings risking? They're risking a team that has gone to the wild card and lost this year, and a couple of years ago squeaked out a wild card win. It would be different than, you remember when the Packers went to 3 straight NFC championship games? If the Packers right then and there, coming off of 3 straight NFC championship games, had gone to Jordan Love, you could say,
yeah, exactly.
Wow, you're really going to do that?
Good point, Dave.
We're talking about the Vikings who have been mediocre and just slightly better than mediocre. Yes, we're never terrible. And there was a point, I think it was Sarah who made it just a moment ago. The problem with Kirk Cousins is he's just good enough not to be bad enough to be drafting in the top 5. And he's not good enough to win you a Super Bowl. So then you become so scared that if you get rid of Cousins, well, then we might be a 3-win team for 5 straight years. Not necessarily. You still have to draft well. You still have to scout well. But the point I'm making about the Kansas City comparison, it's not about what Patrick Mahomes ended up being. That was as best case of scenario as humanly possible. It's more about the argument of, do you want to continue with the safe guy who you know is going to top out at the divisional round of the playoffs and maybe once get to an NFC championship game at best?
Nope. Me and you were on the phone last night. Nope. Me and you were on the phone last night. I disagree.
You disagree with me?
Yeah, I disagree that his ceiling is the NFC championship game.
No, I'm saying his ceiling is the division round of the playoffs. And if everything went right and you got lucky, you might get to the NFC championship game. And that's like a 5% chance. But so you're not
with Kirk Cousins?
Yes, with Kirk Cousins. Yes.
I do think that's possible if everything's right. I'm on board with the people.
Everything's right.
Yeah, I'm on board with the people who say if Kirk Cousins was on the 49ers, he would give the 49ers a better chance. I think the 49ers, because I think the only thing I'm worried about Kirk Cousins is if he's in the spotlight and the ball's in his hands to win the game and in the playoffs. Obviously, we're able to see him do it in the regular season this year for the first time in his career, probably. But I'm still worried about that in the playoffs. So if he's on a team where he can keep them ahead by a lofty number, at least in the Super Bowl, I think that's where you get the best chance. That's why I think Kirk Cousins has a chance. And I think the 49ers is talented enough where I think maybe he could have done that with them. But
the point is at this point with the Vikings, he can't.
Ask yourself this. Yeah. Because I asked myself, and shout out my boy Crown in the building, man.
Crown?
Shout out Crown, man. Find a Jalen Hurts at least. And another thing too, man. Shout out to Bob, because he brought up a point with Trey Lance. They had Jimmy Garoppolo. Weren't they just in the NFC Championship game the year before? Was it?
Yeah, they beat the Packers.
They were in the Super Bowl
last year.
No, I'm saying the year before they drafted Trey Lance. They went to the NFC Championship game and lost, didn't they? I think
I'll look it up because they were in.
They lost to the Rams, right? I think they
That's
lost
right.
to the
Yeah,
Rams.
yeah, yeah.
They lost to the Rams. Yeah,
they beat the Packers in the conference game.
Yeah. But they
That's
still
right.
went. They went for their quarterback with the second pick, bro, and they had Jimmy Garoppolo. And look, you can say what you want about Jimmy, but he's kind of like Kirk Cousins if you just put him in the same thing. And he's actually won way more playoff games. You know what I mean? But I mean, they're in the same bin realistically, like whether y'all like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I know Kirk's. We can say that's our guy, and hell no, we would take him over Jimmy, and I probably would.
Kirk is more talented, but I would probably take
Jimmy. Got more moxie.
Garoppolo's mental, like like when the game was on the line, like that's when Garoppolo would kind of step up, but he wouldn't get the stats or any of that stuff. Where
and he missed that one throw. He missed that one throw when they were in the Super Bowl, and everybody compares that and saying, "Oh, if Kirk was in that position, he would have hit that throw." And I say,
but he wouldn't have been
disagree
in that position
because the pressure would have been too high.
Right, the pressure
and he would have missed the throw.
High.
You know what I mean? Like, why do people think that Kirk just would have went in there and just overcame all the pressure? Like, it's proven that he can't handle pressure. So I disagree with that take all the time. Like, no, he would.
I think the easiest way to compare those two is Garoppolo has a lower floor than Cousins. Very rarely.
Does he?
Yeah, very rarely are you going to see Kirk Cousins throw 4 interceptions in a game. Garoppolo could do that every other week. But conversely, Garoppolo.
Hold on a minute. No, hold on a minute. Garoppolo don't do that every other week, bro. Garoppolo, every time he's the starting quarterback, he wins damn near 10 games every time.
But there have been times where he would have 2-3 games a season where he would just torpedo the game.
And he averages like 200 yards a game.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with it, though, is Garoppolo's floor is lower than Cousins. Cousins has a higher floor, but Garoppolo has a higher ceiling, okay? So
especially if you're acting like championship, like you're aiming for champion.
You got Kirk. Kirk's going to get you to this level, which is higher than Jimmy's floor, but Jimmy's ceiling is higher. He might have this one ridiculous throw where it might get intercepted or it might be the play of the game. And yes, this year during the regular season, hats off to Kirk Cousins. He absolutely did it a number of times in the regular season.
Yeah, for sure.
It's 1 year, and what happened in the playoffs?
Like,
it doesn't change anything.
And that's the thing. Like, Kirk definitely has good seasons. We understand that up here now. It's just like we just want better as Vikings fans, bro. That's as simple as we can put it. You know what I mean? Like, we just want we want to enjoy. Just like how the Packers been able to enjoy Aaron Rodgers for 15 years, just how the Chiefs are going to be able to enjoy, going, which the Packers, I guess, is kind of a default because they went to the Super Bowl, won one, but then they haven't they've been struggling to get there. You know what I mean? But still, like the Chiefs, I feel like the Eagles are going to be in the conversation for the next at least 5-6 years. You know what I mean? With Jalen Hurts, I think Jalen Hurts is him. You know what I mean? Like I don't see Jalen Hurts coming back next season and just falling off a cliff. Like I think they found a way to run offense using Jalen Hurts.
Their wide receivers are set,
and their wide receivers, and that's another thing, man. I gotta say, right? Like to switch the subject just a little bit, we're gonna pivot right here about Justin Jefferson. And people say this, well, if we bring in a rookie quarterback, Justin Jefferson's going to be mad. You know what I mean? Like, where are we coming up with that? Like, where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kirk Cousins is the only person who's ever thrown Justin Jefferson a touchdown pass. So he must be the only person that can.
And check this out. What makes it even crazier is people want to go and draft another wide receiver 1 coming out of the draft, but that wouldn't make Justin Jefferson mad. Like, you don't think he would look at it? You don't think he would look at that even the same way? I don't think it matters either way, but I'm just saying, the just to say that in the same breath, like, he would get mad if you bring in a rookie quarterback, but yet you can go get the number 1 wide receiver in the draft and he wouldn't be mad at that, knowing that his numbers would have to go down because this guy that we just drafted may be a wide receiver 1 on some other team, but he's going to be our 2 and you're going to have to get him the ball. You know what I mean? Like, so either way, I look at it like JJ puts up numbers regardless, bro. It ain't going to matter who his quarterback is for the most part. He's going to be wide receiver 1 and do his thing. That's all I got to say about that, man.
And the other thing too, you can say to JJ, you know what? We know Kirk is good, but I think we've established how far we can go with him as our quarterback. Doesn't mean it's all his fault. Okay, we're not saying it like that because obviously, again, we know the defense is trash right now. But the point I'm making, what's up, Pablo? The point is you go to Justin. Hey, you know what? We don't think we can go any further with this guy.
Right.
So if we get rid of
you ain't even got to tell Justin that. He knows that
too. You don't know him.
We got to remember, Justin is 20-something years old. Like, trust me, he's in the loop. I'm sure his homeboys and all be like, I ain't gonna lie now, boy, be getting you the ball. boy be getting you the ball. You be dumbing now, but I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, Kirk ain't him, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, like for real, man, come on, man. Like for real, let's be realistic here, bro. Like for real, you know what I'm saying? Like JJ's only 24 years old. Like they're still playing video games, talking shit with his homeboys and shit. Trust me,
for sure.
They talking about it.
Yeah, we don't know if Justin Jefferson's personality is like that. There's a lot of wide receivers and stars out there who isn't like just jumping off. Like obviously we've seen it with Stephon Diggs, where he was like, all right, it's time to get out. But Stephon Diggs was obviously kind of like a diva player, even though I like Stephon Diggs a lot, but he's kind of that diva guy. And then there's other guys like, there is the Randy Mosses and Terrell Owens and stuff like that. But Justin Jefferson does not seem like that kind of guy. Obviously, I'm sure he wants to win a championship just like anybody, but he doesn't at least, that's why when people say like he's just automatically going to get mad, I don't jump on board with that because he doesn't even come off as that type of player. He's not.
He comes off as the guy that says, I want to win a championship more.
For his age and everything, man.
Yeah, he just turned 23, by the way. Just turned 23.
Yeah, super humble, man. Super humble. And like Bob said, not yet. You know what I mean? Now, there's a chance it might get there because as years go and you put in all this work, your frustration will build over and over if you keep going through the same thing. And that's another thing. I think I think it's more realistic for him to get mad at keep getting close, but then yet the quarterback keeps folding, especially if you don't have situations.
Especially if you don't have a talented quarterback behind Kirk Cousins,
right?
Because if it becomes obvious that Kirk Cousins isn't it, and you don't have any quarterback or any future plans at the quarterback positions after Kirk Cousins, that shit would.
What does that tell JJ?
Off.
Yeah, like what does that
would piss me off because it's like, man, if we get rid of this guy, we got nobody, and it's not working with him either.
Like that's what I hate. That's what I hate is like some people really believe like Kirk Cousins is the only quarterback that JJ's allowed to have. You know what I mean? Like what sense does that make, dog? Like he's not the only person that can throw a football.
He's won one playoff game in his entire career.
Like, come on, man. Let's just be real, man. Like for real, it's not that hard, man. And like Sarah said, man, JJ cares more about winning rather than about lower stats. You know what I mean? Like for real, like he's willing. I feel like JJ is willing to sacrifice because he's still gonna get over 1,000 yards regardless. Like straight up, like I don't care who his quarterback is. You know what I mean? He's still gonna have 1,000 yards plus. You know what I mean? It's easy.
And he's so good. He's so good. Obviously, that catch against the Bills on 4th and 18 or 19 or whatever it was. He has to have that confidence to know, like, your best option is getting me the ball. That's just the fact. So he's going to get his. He's going to get his
and he can mold the young quarterback. He would probably enjoy. You know what I mean? Mold.
Throw it up. That's all you got to do. Throw it up to him. He'll get it.
I was gonna say in 2002. Dante got hurt, not the year that he blew his knee out, but he got hurt and missed like 6 or 7 games. Randy Moss still had 1,200 yards with Todd Bowman throwing him the ball. He had 1,000-yard seasons with Gus Frerotte throwing him the ball. There are certain wide receivers that make the quarterback, and there's certain quarterbacks that make the wide receiver. If we're going to go on and on about showing all these graphics about Randy Moss and Jerry Rice through 3 seasons and comparing it to JJ through 3 seasons, then I'm sorry. You can't tell me, that quarterback X isn't going to have an easier time developing with Justin Jefferson as his wide receiver. B, more than the other thing too, is this time last year when we got rid of Mike Zimmer and everybody as Vikings fans, before the 3 of us ever met each other, everybody talking, we got to get an offensive-minded head coach because we got to make sure Kirk Cousins is comfortable. And when we hired Kevin O'Connell, what'd we say? Oh, he worked with Cousins before. He's going to be able to work with Cousins and get something out of him and then develop the next guy. We hired Kevin O'Connell to be a quarterback whisperer, so to speak. So at the same time about talking all this stuff about Cousins and JJ, how about the fact that we hired a guy to be able to develop the next quarterback in the first place? But somehow, some way, none of that comes to fruition, and none of that gets discussed. Is okay, you're so afraid of taking a guy and it not working. Well, didn't we put some faith in this head coach when we hired him to be able to do that better than the last few guys? I mean, shouldn't that be part of the conversation too?
Facts, man. Yeah, hey, man. Let's give Justin a clap for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I see y'all in the chat. Justin talking right now, bro. My boy talk right now. You know,
I gotta disagree with Bob though. JJ is not yet better.
Yeah, Bob.
It's too early.
Hey, Bob, I love you.
He
Bob,
might be someday, but let's not get there yet.
Hey, Bob, you know I love you. You my boy, but watch your mouth. You know what I mean? Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do that. Now, Bob, if you're like 20, then I can understand why you feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real. But let's see. How many did Moz have when
I'm
he
getting
played
that
for
right
Oakland?
now. I knew he was going to come. I'm already.
What did he say?
How many did he have when he played for Oakland? Yeah, I know he fell off a little bit, but he's had a decent season.
2005, he had 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had a
2006
decent
was
season.
garbage. 2006. So his first year in Oakland, he was still good. The second year in Oakland, he was garbage. And then the years after that,
he turned
played
up
with Tom
when he went to
Brady.
the Patriots.
Okay,
That's when he broke the records.
22 touchdown season.
The point I'm making it here is that we act like if Kirk Cousins isn't throwing Justin Jefferson the ball, then all of a sudden Justin Jefferson is just going to be as good as KJ Osborne, as an example. It's just ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right.
No, it's not that.
You're right. If we started a rookie quarter, let's say Kirk Cousins got hurt week 1 and we had to play our backup quarterback. You're right. JJ would only get 1,000 to 1,100 yards instead of 1,800. It's not like he's going to have 400 yards or something.
But guess what? Well, guess what'll make it better though? Guess what'll make up for it? Is we'll have so much money to spend on defense and things like that, to where like our team will be having fun. Our team having fun because we'll be able to go all in on one off season where we'll be able to all the big names. We can say, guess what? We got the money. Why? Because we have a rookie quarterback right now, or we have a quarterback on a rookie contract at that. And guess what? We got money to spend. So hey, all the top free agents, hey, let's give them a phone call and see if they want to come rock with us this year. A 1-year deal, just like how the Eagles do, just like how the Rams did, just like how the
Vikings did with Case Keenum as an example.
Yeah, just like how, I'm not going to say that makes all the sense right there. Just like how these 3 teams that won in the past 3 years, damn near, the Eagles made it there, they didn't win, but still yet, like they're using the formula. All right, they're using the Rams.
Jared Goff in 2018, when he's on a rookie contract, went to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff. Nobody would say that Goff is better than Kirk Cousins right now. Of course not. But let's just call it for what it is. Jared Goff is one of those guys who, on a rookie contract, and Sean McVay doesn't hurt either, but another quarterback on a rookie contract, okay, you can win with him because you can build the team up around him enough to where if you have a puppet string head coach pulling the strings, you can get by with that.
Bro,
now, is that a long-term solution?
Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl on a rookie contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Jalen Hurts almost made it. Jalen Hurts played in
Joe
a Super
Burrow
Bowl
last year played in a Super Bowl on a
Joe
rookie
Burrow
contract.
played in a Super Bowl on a rookie
and
contract.
almost made it. It's close to making it again.
It's like obvious. It's like, how are we so blind? I just don't get how people can sit back and not notice. You know what I mean? What's happening? Like, it's trending so hard that it's like you almost can't not see it, bro. Like, it's trending so hard. You know what I mean?
Because they're afraid of. There's 2 possible outcomes. If you, let's say you draft a quarterback this year, you keep Kirk Cousins, you don't extend him, and you turn it over to whoever you draft this year in 2024. Right. There's 3 possible outcomes. You're going to be worse, you're going to be the same, or you're going to be better. Some fans are so afraid of being worse that it blinds them to the possibility of actually being better. Right. Like, as you said, first off,
not Purple Pocket family. We got 20. We got 26 people in the building, but only 25 of them because Dave's in the building with us right now. 25 of them, I can tell you right now, we don't feel
there.
We don't feel like that. 25 of us. Hey, 28 of us actually with us 3. We don't.
Here's the analogy. Oh, go ahead, Kate. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, that's what the one thing everyone says is, how do we stay competitive without Kirk Cousins? Like, that's the first thing they say, and it's like, there's a chance. Sometimes you have to take that chance, and there's a chance that we suck. There's a chance that we suck, but there's also a chance we suck for 2 years, and then by year 3, this quarterback turns into exactly who we want. And those are the teams that end up going down and winning Super Bowls. I mean, look at Cincinnati. For like, pretty much Cincinnati, they were a terrible team my entire life, and then now all of a sudden they're a powerhouse with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and obviously T. Higgins is probably gone, but I mean, that's a great example of that. And you got to take those chances. And there's a high chance that your team might suck for a couple years.
Yeah.
But you got to take it. That's part of the whole thing.
You got to have, like, us as Vikings fans, like, knowing we should be okay with long-term goals. You feel me? Like, we should be okay with like a long-term
just like
goal.
anything in anybody's life besides football.
And that's the thing about the Vikings as an organization. It's a mirror image to what Kirk Cousins is. The Vikings very rarely are garbage for year after year after year. They might have like 1 year here or a second year there. If you take a 10-year window of the Vikings, they're probably going to have 1 or 2 seasons where they're great, where they win 12, 13 games, get to the division or the NFC Championship game. 1 or 2 years where they have 3, 4, 5 wins, and then about 7 or 8 years where they're in that middle between 7 and 10 wins, where you're 2 weeks left in the season, you're in the hunt graphic where you're almost there. And that's a good place in some respects to be. It's definitely better than what the Cleveland Browns have been up until this recent stint under Kevin Stefanski. They were garbage for forever. The Lions were garbage for forever. A handful of other teams. I understand that being 7 to 10 wins constantly, in theory, is better than a team that is 3 to 5 wins constantly. But as we talked about earlier, at some point, if you get stuck in mediocrity, and that's what 7 to 10's win is it's mediocre.
Right. Yeah.
You get stuck there. And it's just like, well, we're this close from being a playoff team, so we shouldn't take a step back. We should put some resources in and try to get to that next step. And then you're never – it's like, for example, y'all remember Kevin Garnett when he was with the Timberwolves, right?
Yeah.
When Kevin Garnett was with the Timberwolves, they were winning 50 games every year. Every year they were winning 50 games.
Latrell Sprewell.
And until Sprewell and Cassell got there, they were losing in the first round every single year. And we always talk about, well, what do we need to do to put something around KG? Well, they're always drafting in the 20s, so they're not in a position to grab a Tim Duncan or a Tracy McGrady or somebody else that you could pair him with. And so the problem with Garnett was he was always good enough to get you to the playoffs, but also good enough to keep you from being in the lottery to get that one other superstar to go with him. Exactly. And that's what the Vikings have been for almost their entire existence. They rarely ever train wreck, and they're rarely ever great. They're always
and you know what, man? Like, I mean, it's just crazy, bro. Like, sometimes I sit back and I just wonder, like, what Vikings fan. Okay, listen. And it's no, and you know what's crazy, chat, is this ain't even towards y'all, because most of y'all, well, this can be towards Dave, I guess, right? Like, what more? I just need to know this. What more do you think Kirk Cousins can bring to the table from what he showed you already in the 5 years or the 6 years that he's played? What is it? 5 seasons, right?
It's literally playoffs
that he's
again.
Played.
He has to get to playoffs again and make
like,
that
what
throw.
What more do we need to see, bro? Like, what more? I just need to know. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly need to know, because I'm tired of hearing, well, he needs one more year because it was a first-year coach. He needs one more year. He needs one more year. Like, dog, eventually, like, if we want to win as Vikings fans, like, eventually we're going to have to get rid of that. You know what I mean? We're just going to have to get rid of that, bro.
And that's not even just directed squarely at him. It's the mentality in general is at some point, stop being okay with just being okay.
I'm having faith in Kwesi.
Don't be afraid.
I'm having faith in him, man. I'm having faith in Kwesi that he's gonna change that narrative.
He has to know, especially if you sign Kirk Cousins to just one more year. Even last year, the fact that they signed him for just one more year just shows like he's not part of the long-term plans, at least right now. Hopefully, you know, after this good regular season he had, that doesn't change their minds in that respect. But I don't know, man. I just think that, you know, I think Kwesi is that guy that will trade up for the guy he wants. Like, especially that's what's good about him being that analytic guy, I think, because it's got to be pretty straightforward. I mean, this guy's won one playoff game his entire career. Is he really the guy?
Shout out my boy Pablo in the building, man. So this my boy Pablo. He actually he's a Kirk fan too. You know what I mean? He always be coming at my top when I talk about Kirk, to be real. And you see how he put it in all caps. He like, boy,
we win that game.
He like, we win that game. This thing.
Yeah, we win that game if we had a better defense and maybe hopefully Flores.
Yeah, but if was a Super Bowl,
I want a Super Bowl. I don't care about one playoff win, 2 playoff win, 3 playoff wins. I want a Super Bowl, and one playoff win because of our defense isn't good enough.
And my thing is this, and good take, Jamie, good take. You know what I mean? Like that's fire, right? My thing is this: the ball was in his hands in a one-score game. We could have went down and tied it up. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
or gone for 2.
It is what it is. Or gone for 2 and just say, hey, just risk it all. You know what I mean? I would have said tie it up and go in overtime. But still,
I would have said with the way that defense was playing,
go for 2. You know what I mean? But my thing is this: the ball was in your boy's hands, Pablo. It was in his hands, man. It was in front of him. You know, it would be different if we lost on the defensive side of the ball, as far as, you know, like, hey, the game was a blowout. The defense couldn't stop anybody. But guess what? The ball was in Kirk's hands, bro, to go down, and he's been doing it all season during the regular season. Why is it a coincidence that the playoff game it went missing all of a sudden? Why?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we're not even going to talk about how the middle of the game they weren't moving the ball that well, anyways, having plays where they were stalling out.
throughout the
what I'm
regular
saying?
season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, man. It just is what it is, Pablo, man. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's one play, but it's the most important play.
And it was that specific decision,
Mhm.
to throw it in the flats to TJ Hawkinson when he was 8 yards away.
And let's keep it real, fellas.
Touchdown.
If Kirk would have threw that ball up to JJ, I don't care if he was quadruple covered, we probably wouldn't be doing this live right now.
No,
we probably wouldn't be having this live right now. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
A lot of the Kirk lovers think no matter what, if the Vikings lost, we'd blame it on Kirk.
No,
I don't think it's that at all. If Kirk would have threw it up and gave someone a chance, I would have felt totally different. It was just that one decision you made. Out of all the decisions you can possibly make, you made the one that almost certainly made you not get the first down.
Look, right here. Shout out Sarah. Even Case Keenum knew to throw it to the best player on the field. And I'm going to keep it real. If Kirk Cousins was our quarterback during that game, he was not throwing that ball down there to Diggs. I'm telling you right now, he wasn't. He was going to check it down. Because Rudolph was coming over the middle, damn near wide open. I guarantee you he would have threw that shit to Rudolph and expected us to do a lateral and start trying to lateral this bitch.
No, he would have threw the Rudolph. He would have hoped that Rudolph would have ran out of bounds, and he would have hoped that Kai Borbath would have hit a 57-yard field goal.
And if we had a time machine and can go back and just insert Kirk, I would almost bet every dollar in my bank account that that's what would have happened. I mean, that's how confident I am that Kirk would have not made that risky throw to Diggs.
And we've seen him do it to Justin Jefferson in the regular season, but that almost makes it seem so more obvious that in the playoffs it was just in his head.
You know what, too, though, Jamie? That play was a 4th down, and I almost feel like you're almost forced into that where, you throw it down there to JJ. You know what I mean? Like that, the Case Keenum one was a little different because that was like, it was do or die. You know what I mean? Like you had to.
I would still say, like, I still think that was a really.
Guys, though.
They were both.
Like, I was surprised Kirk Cousins even did that with Justin Jefferson and gave him the chance in the regular season. But I just think that he didn't do that in a playoff game. To me, it just shows like he was just rattled. He was rattled in the moment a little bit on that play. And I don't think at least we haven't seen it in playoffs where he's willing to take those kind of chances. Like he can't in the regular season. It's going to be way easy, way less pressure. In playoffs, obviously you miss that. If you don't make the right decision or whatever, your season's completely over. So he's willing to take that chance in regular season. At least that's what I saw, but he was too afraid to do it in the playoff game.
And Bob has a good point. They could have got a pass interference. That's another thing.
Yeah,
you throw it to somebody like JJ because JJ definitely his chances are high. You know what I mean? When of getting a pass interference because he's that elite, and it could have happened. Now I don't know if they would have called it on the last second thing like that because that kind of would have dictated the game. But maybe you never know.
Super Bowl, you know?
You never know though. You got to at least you got a better chance of that happening than Hawkinson breaking that tackle, right? Because like the way they were pursuing Hawkinson, like where he and that's the thing with the press conference. Well, I figured that Hawkinson could have broke a tackle and got. Bro, like, come on, man. You watch that film, man. That defender's not missing that tackle, bro. They know their season is on the line.
Right.
Like, he's right there, bro. He's watching.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance, but I think you have a better chance throwing it up in the air and hoping someone comes down to it than Hawkinson breaking and expecting someone to break a tackle before the first down. I don't know. That's
crazy.
And by the way,
on a fourth down in your season,
entire season, you got to get
this entire conversation. Also, doesn't mean that we're saying he's the reason that they lost the game. The defense was the reason they lost the game, but that doesn't mean we still can't talk about the other.
No, it ain't just the defense. It ain't just the defense is the reason they lost the game because you want to know why? We won 13 games with the same defense. We won 13 games with the same defense coming back and doing the last second drive. Everybody, they want to boost up all his 8 comebacks and stuff like that. Why we ain't boosting it up when he don't come back then? Because if that's what it's all about, listen, we were in the same position we were in during that playoff game that we were in all season. You know what I'm saying? Like we were in the same exact position. We should have been trained well for that. Like, to be honest with you, if I could reverse that, I would say like being in that position, I would have said we were winning that game because no team wanted to see us. And the last possession, we got the ball in our hands because we had evidence throughout the season that we're winning those games 10 out of 10 times.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I for sure. I was like, we got this. 100%. And then he threw it, dumped it off to TJ Hawkinson. And then you just knew for a fact, I don't know.
You're like,
that was hard. Like you throw it up in the air and you're just like, all right, we got this. We've been doing it all season long. And he just made the decision, just didn't even give us a chance.
It just makes me mad, bro, that he waits until then to do that. Why you ain't do that? Why you ain't did that in the Bills game? I'd rather you would have just did that in the Bills game. And then when this game came around, you know what I mean? You went back to your rare form. You know what I mean? Like, damn, why you gonna wait till why you gonna wait till it's win or go home to do the shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, let me read Ryan's
Ryan's got a good
question. Yeah, let me read that, man. Shout out my boy Ryan, man. We got 29 people in the building. Hey, look, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Go subscribe to GG Sports Podcast. Also, hold on. Let me get the comment off of Day real quick. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Purple and Gold for Days as well. You know what I mean? Because if you rock with RAP, you gotta rock with them, man. You already know how it is. You know what I'm saying? They trying to grow their channels and they got great content, man, for sure. Especially if y'all want to know draft stuff, like tap in with GG, man. Jamie, man, he does giveaways. I actually won. I'm actually waiting on my card.
You guys
feel
won.
me?
Actually,
hey, what card did I win? What card did I win again, Jamie?
Did you? Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson?
Yeah. Should be getting to your house pretty shortly here.
Yeah, I didn't check my mail today, so it might actually be in the mail right now. I'm gonna check it in the morning, and yeah, man. See, so y'all make sure y'all definitely go subscribe to GG because they do giveaways. Like, hey, Jamie likes doing it every night. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes he give away.
Sometimes I shouldn't do it, but I don't know. Once the chat gets going, you're just like, all right, let's do giveaways.
For sure. So hey, he real giving. He's real giving, guys. So hey,
it's gonna get better as we grow. All of our channels grow. I think all this is only gonna continue getting better. Of course it's going to get better, you know. Better giveaways, better everything.
Now shout out Ryan. Let's read this question. He said, real question, why did we have our second best pass catcher running a check down route on 4th and 8? That's a good question. Now we can blame that. We can definitely blame that on Kevin partially on Kevin O'Connell, but then I don't know who I heard it from. But somebody was talking out, you know, because I just float through the internet and hear Vikings talk and stuff. And somebody said, look, Kirk Cousins has had the ability to, it might have been Realistic Randy. Shout out my boy Realistic, man. He said Kirk has had the ability to check out of plays all season. He's been able to audible. He's done it this season more than he's ever done it as a Viking. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, if you're seeing pressure coming, you know that Lawrence was on your tail all game. You know what I mean? So why wait until the last play and then decide not to, you know what I mean, do something about it? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, partially Kevin O'Connell, partially Kirk, being a 11-year veteran, should have known, like, hey, let's check this route, man. Let's hot route this. Let's do something. Get to the sticks. You know what I mean? Or letting them know in the huddle, hey, make sure you're past the sticks because this is do or die.
Right.
Well, the other part of that problem was that he was designed to stay in chip block at the start of the snap too. So he had the dual responsibility of making sure that he had enough help in the pass protection as well as getting out into his route. But to your point, that is all on Kevin O'Connell, y'all.
Right.
Let's just call that for what it is. And it's unfortunate.
Specifically him.
Right. And it's unfortunate that we even have to have the conversation of, well, Kevin O'Connell shouldn't have called a play that has a check down available for Kirk because Kirk's going to take the check. Okay, well, you know, whatever. But no, it's a very fair point. And that's something that we have said in conversations to say, hey, we're going to talk about Kirk. We're going to talk about the defense, and we're going to talk about the play call at the end too. It's all encompassing. But to your point about why you got to wait to the end, it's kind of like, why did Gary Anderson have to wait to miss until the Anderson championship game that year? But I digress. Somebody had asked earlier for the links to GG Sports Talk and Purple and Gold for Days.
In there too. I just pinned GG guys. Sports. Yep, I'm putting yours in there.
See, David Michelson.
Put yours in there real quick too.
Good thing to hear, David. I've had one person so far that hasn't got their card, but otherwise everyone else has not had any issues with that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man, we cooking like a motherfucker, man. Keep it real, chat. We cooking tonight, innit? Keep it real. Keep it a bucky, man. Like we going in tonight, man. It don't get much better than this right here. I'm gonna tell you right now. It damn sure don't. It damn sure don't, man. I love the family over here. Listen, for anybody, like I tell you, Jamie, man, when you ever want to talk Kirk, man, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And shout out your co-host Casey, man, because Jamie actually works with GG Sportcast is him and his partner Casey. Shout out to him, you know what I mean? But he's more on the other. He's like in the middle, kind of. I guess
he's in the middle, but we're both kind of in the middle. But I'm more on your side, and he's more on Dave's side. So when we do our show on the School Experience, it's always funny because, of course, I'm going to be the one that's like, I don't know about that, which I kind of like that, sometimes.
Yeah, somebody got to do it, man.
Like
you know what I mean? Somebody got to do it, man. And that's why I came on the scene. Like, look, everybody want to be all one-sided, man. Somebody got to stir the pot a little bit. And I actually feel like this, though. That's the thing. And the crazy part is, like, people can go back to my videos, and I was all on Kirk's train. I did a whole video.
So was I.
To him.
Absolutely.
Like 9 games into the season, I said, look, why y'all hating on the boy? The boy nice. Like, we winning games. Like, it's our year. I could feel it. And he let me down in the worst way. And like I said, if he would have threw that ball up on that last play in triple coverage, I would not be having this live right now, and we wouldn't be even talking. Now, mind you, I still would feel the same, that I still would be kind of iffy thinking that he's a Super Bowl quarterback, because I felt like that since 2018. I'm going to just keep it real. But, I still would have had a little more confidence in him. Like, hey, you know what? It might happen eventually. We'll see in 2 years is the window. And if it don't happen, we need to move on. But now I'm just ready to move on now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want him to play next year, but I think we all realistically know that
we've accepted that that's the case.
You know what I mean? Like, we all know what's happening.
It's not even that. You could here's what I would do. If you're really if he's going to play hardball like this, Kirk, we want to extend you for 1 more year. Yeah, I don't want that. I want 3 years and I want $50 million a year. Yeah, we're not giving you that. Well, then I'm not going to play. I'm like, well, then give me a list of teams that you'll waive your no trade clause to. The Vikings need to understand this, regardless of the fact that he is our best option for next year. If the idea is to remain competitive while we try and rebuild this defense and try and find another quarterback, whatever the case may be, regardless of that.
Right.
You do not need to feel like Kirk Cousins has you by the you-know-what, and that you just have to bend over backwards and give him everything. If he wants to take a 1-year extension because that's how long you want him on your team, then he takes it. And if he doesn't want to take it, you just say, all right, fine. We'll just play out the last year of your contract. What you going to do? Sit out? I don't think so.
We just need someone.
All I'm saying is we don't need to be – if he comes in saying, hey, I want $50 million a year guaranteed for 3 years, no. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Right. Because hopefully someone else is willing to pay him that.
I'm sorry. I just saw Days comment. Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah. But no, we just need another team is willing to pay him that money, because he's going to chase that bag. So
of course,
that's what that's like our one. That's like our.
He definitely a bag boy. So. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yeah. That boy definitely in his bag. I give him that. He is in his 100%. Bag. Like he elbow deep in that mug. I'm gonna tell you right now. He elbow deep,
and he laughing all the way to the bank at all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? I don't blame him.
And I don't begrudge him. I don't begrudge him at all.
And let's ask ourselves this as Vikings fans. These keep 1-year extensions. Where's the loyalty though? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's something that they're bringing to the table. Now, if it's something that Kwesi and the GM, or if the Vikings organization is like, hey, we're only gonna keep doing this 1 year because we're gonna play it year by year. But if him and his agent keep coming to the table like, nah, we just want to do 1 year. You know what I mean? 1 year, get the most money, and the next year we'll go back to the table. Like, where the loyalty at? You said you want to retire here. You said you want to be a Viking for life, right? So, hey, how about we drag out a long-ass contract, and guess what? We're paying you. If we drag it out long, if we do still draft a quarterback, like the cap ain't going to be that big of a deal because we dragging that motherfucker out. Shit, fuck it. Sign a 10-year contract. You know what I mean? We giving you $10 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Do the Patrick Mahomes, because that's what Mahomes did. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mahomes got a 10-year contract, I believe, right? He got
$500 million, but
Yeah, he got $500 million, but still a 10-year contract. Jesus. You know what I mean?
And imagine look at that. He got paid and he goes out and wins the Super Bowl with making that much money. That's that's what he gets paid, and he wants a Super Bowl. Yeah. He gets both of them. Super Bowl is probably still his priority.
And that's the thing, like the day after they won the Super Bowl, people were on Twitter talking about, well, look, the Chiefs did it with a quarterback that's taking up X amount of the cap. And I'm like, dog, seriously, bro, we're going to have this conversation. Like, really? Like, sometimes I be with me, like everybody who knows my channel, like I know that I just be rambling and talking my shit, bro. Like, and I'm wrong a lot. And I admit that, right? Because I don't care, because I'm a freestyler, right? I don't read scripts or nothing. Like, I just hit record. But one thing's for sure, man, as Vikings fan, man, we got to stop embarrassing ourselves, man, on Twitter. You know what I mean? Because we got to represent this purple shit the right way, man. You know what I mean? And I got to do better too. But like when we make arguments like that, like we look crazy, bro. Like we look crazy comparing Kirk Cousins to Patrick Mahomes, right? It's just not realistic. You know what I mean?
The realistic comparison is Dak Prescott.
I would take Dak Prescott over Kirk.
I would.
This, and
I'm gonna keep it real. I know people say they're the same
because he has
quarterback,
legs mostly.
Yeah, I would take Dak over Kirk.
If I'm being 100% objective, which is something Dave says I'm not capable of doing, so there you go. But I'm just playing with you. I think those two, they're slightly different, but on aggregate, they're basically the same guy. Kirk's got a little bit better arm accuracy, maybe a bit stronger arm. Dak's got mobility. Pound for pound, if I had the same amount of money, I would say that I would take Dak just slightly above Kirk. If somebody says that they would take Kirk just slightly above Dak, I'm not going to argue with them.
Yeah, I wouldn't die on the hill, but
I would die on that hill. If somebody says that they would take
personally,
Kirk,
I would take Dak.
Yeah, me too.
Only reason why I think me and Jamie probably feel like that because it would be something new. You know what I mean? It just
there's that.
Because we don't got it. I feel like we just feel like, let's give us a chance with a new
he can run.
Like, I'll say,
and he's like, we're missing that right now.
Yeah, if I was a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, I'd be saying the same thing about Dak Prescott that I am saying about Kirk Cousins. We know that his limit is about the divisional round of the playoffs. We've seen him on good teams. We've seen him on great teams. We've seen him where, hey, you know what? It's not always his fault, but at the end of the day, we've gone as far as we can with this guy. Now, yes, if somebody said, would you trade Dak for Kirk straight up? I would do it simply because Dak's, maybe, but it's not one of those
much
deals.
Younger.
It's not. It doesn't move the needle.
He is pretty young. Yeah,
they're the same guy.
Like 28 or something.
They're the same guy.
Shout out to Two Evil the Hope with the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you, man. No one should be fooled. Kirk only cares about his bank account, not about winning at all. Hey, shout out to my boy Two Evil, man. Man, I know when he seen that Kirk thumbnail, he was tapping in, man. Shout out my guy.
That's true too.
Love too. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dave said now Rat wants a long-term deal.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
10 million for 10 years.
I'll take it. For 10 years.
10 years, 10 million, man. I'll take it. You know what I mean? We pay him $1 million a year.
No trade clause. No trade clause.
Yeah.
If there's a trade clause on that, fuck that.
So that's another thing about Kirk, and then we'll get it. We've been going for an hour and 16 minutes, man. I don't want to tie y'all up because I can sit here and curb stomp them all night. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. But
there was a couple of other questions in here.
Hold on, one more thing, Dave. One more thing, because I wanted to ask this too, man. You know what I mean? Like with the Vikings' history of offensive line, right? And now we got Darisaw, we got Brian O'Neill. We know those guys are pretty much like, okay, those are cornerstones on the line. But with the history of not being able to get it right for the most part, don't you think that it would be time to sit at the drawing board and say, hey, maybe we do need to get a quarterback that can move a little bit, that can kind of, overcome those deficiencies that you have, you know what I mean, every once in a while when needed. Because even last year is a prime example of Kirk made a lot of good throws, but he also got smashed on all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like he was getting hit every time. Y'all think that's going to happen again next year? And that's my thing. Do y'all think Kirk's going to just get better next year? Like, no, we know who Kirk is. He is who he is. We've seen the best of Kirk. We just got to accept the fact that we've seen the best of him. And next year, I don't see it getting any better. I actually said this last night on the phone with Day. I said, trust me, Kirk's at his cliff, and I feel like he's going to degress. He's definitely going to take a decline next season. I'm calling it right now, man. We coming back to this live next season when it starts, and I'm gonna say, see, y'all want to extend this motherfucker for 3 years. If they extend it for 3 years, I'm doing a video rant, bro. We're coming live again, guys. So just get your popcorn.
Oh my god.
Hey, let's go.
If it gets in the middle, if it get announced in the middle of the day, you're gonna go on a 15-20 minute rant in your car, and and tune in again because I'm gonna rant on this again here. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I have accepted that they're not going to do we're going to trade him and maximize the return on value. So we've accepted that he's going to be the quarterback this year. I would prefer that they don't extend him and that they just write it out. If they say, all right, we're going to give him a 1-year extension and then we're going to draft somebody. Okay. I'm fine with that too. My biggest fear is the Vikings always do this. So it's not just about Kirk Cousins. It's, we need to get a quarterback. Yeah, but we got so many other needs that we can't really risk taking a first-round pick and putting it towards the quarterback because we got to fix this on the defense. We got to fix this on the O-line, yada, yada, yada. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that then you're never going to take one because with Kirk Cousins, as we said earlier, and I believe it was Sarah who said it, you're always going to be either in the playoffs, which means you're drafting 20 or later, or you're going to be close to the playoffs, which means you're going to be drafting 15 or later. And then you're going to say, well, this quarterback class only has 2 quarterbacks. We got to go to next year's quarterback class because that draft's going to be a lot better for quarterbacks.
Right.
And it's one thing after another where it's just at some point you just have to do it so that you don't get stuck in the position you were when they panicked and took a Christian Ponder because they had absolutely nothing else besides Joe Webb. So getting back to the Anthony Richardson or whoever it might be, all I care about at this point, because it's not worth trying to fight the battle of trading him right now, I'm just saying, show me that you are at some point going. David Michelson. I messed up.
We'll see if it works. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't pick the Packers, then I think that darkness retreat worked.
Yes. There you go.
Hey, we got 32. We got 32 people in the building, man. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all commenting, man. Make sure y'all going and subscribing, man, for sure. But go ahead, Dave.
But my point, just to wrap it up, is just that at some point, it's just like, are you ever going to make that move, or are you just going to continuously tell yourself that now's not the right time to do it? That's my biggest point of contention, where it's just like, okay, it wasn't the time to do it in 2020. It wasn't the time to do it in 2021 or 22 or 23. I was talking to Mike the other day. He's just like, I just want to see Kirk Cousins with one more season. I said, Mike, that's exactly what you said to me last year. It was, I want to see Kirk Cousins with somebody other than Mike Zimmer. And if he doesn't get to the divisional round of the playoffs, because that's what our line of demarcation was, then I'm ready to move on.
You know what? And you want to know what?
We're doing the same thing. Well, I want to see one more year if we can fix the defense.
And you want to know what? And you want to know what, man? For the fellas in the building, and I know we got Sarah in the building. We might have a couple more, ladies, lovely ladies in the building. Ask yourself this. You got an ex, right? And y'all know that y'all are not going to work. Do you want to keep trying it? Do you sit there when you know that your significant other is crazy as hell? Do you want to keep sitting there and trying it out over and over again? How does it always work out for you? Right? It never works out good. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to just realize that it's over with. You feel me? And when you do, it might hurt a little bit at the beginning, but you wind up finding what you really need and your life gets better. And that's what we need to look at it as Vikings fans. Once we trust me, life is going to be good after Kirk. I promise you. And eventually it's going to come naturally because he's just going to be an 80-year-old man. You know what I mean? So,
I love Randy's like, Kirk Cousins will be 70 years old and the Vikings will still be giving him one.
They be talking about extend him. You know what I mean? And he got one more year. He got one more year. You know what I mean?
I got the better analogy. I got the better analogy for you, but you go ahead, Casey. You hadn't.
I was going to say.
I did it again.
You keep calling him Casey.
It's always going to happen. It's always going to happen.
It's like my mom and dad always called me and my brother the opposite names. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying we need to get another quarterback behind him. If we did do that this year, I don't know if this is the best spot for us to do it this year in this draft. But I don't care if we did. But this year, next year, whatever, I don't know, whatever we do with his extension, I'm putting my money on that we give him an extra year, one extra year, nothing more. But that's where my money's at. But just get us another quarterback to be a young quarterback. I want a first round quarterback if we do it. I don't know if it'll be this year. I don't want to even do a third. Like Hendon Hooker, he could be really good. I'll take the chance on him. But if you feel like he's not your guy going into next year, or any of the guys, if you feel like he's not the guy going into the next year after that, take another shot at a first round pick. Something. Right. Give us a real shot, not a third round, mid round where there's been like 5 quarterbacks in NFL history. Some of them are the greatest, but that have came out and been extremely productive in those rounds. Most of the time, it's first round quarterbacks that do that. Just give us that chance. And if you do that behind Kirk Cousins, I can ride with it a little bit more, but I can't go into another season without a single guy behind Kirk Cousins that we can hope for future with.
I'll definitely give up. Hey, this is good, Jason. I'll definitely give up 2 firsts for Lamar. I would.
I wouldn't.
I would.
I don't know where I'm at with that, man. I like Lamar Jackson a lot. I know we talked about
Lamar's the same. Before. Here's what I'll say about Lamar. I like Lamar on a rookie contract. And I would, if you told me I had to have either Lamar or Kirk Cousins for roughly the same amount of money, of course I'm taking Lamar, but I'm not trading Kirk Cousins and 2 first-round picks for Lamar because you're going to be in the same spot. Yes, he and JJ together would be ridiculous, but at some point, he's got the same kind of characteristics. He's been to the playoffs 3 times, but only got 1 playoff win. I know he hasn't had many wide receivers in Baltimore, but my point is that, if I could get Lamar for, say, $35 million, I'll take that. But for 50, 55, you're going to be running into the same issues you have right now, just for different.
I ain't gonna lie, man, but Lamar makes up for a lot of deficiencies, though, bro. Like he really does, bro. I wouldn't be mad at that, bro. This is the thing. Like when has it been? Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this though. When has it became wrong to pay for services? You see what I'm saying? Like that when has it became because Lamar Jackson is an MVP. You feel what I'm saying? And like he's a game changer, bro. It just is what it is. I know people say, well, he's a running quarterback.
He's been to
gets
the
hurt.
NFC Championship.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, like I feel like this year the injury thing was flam. I feel like he was holding out. Like he could have came back if he wanted to, but I think that they just kind of, it was kind of one of those things where no, I'm not gonna take a chance because I want my bag. Right. It just is what it is.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
You know what I mean? Like he could have came back. He could have came back weeks ago, bro. But he said, I'm not.
If there was a way to get him without also, I'm saying from a value standpoint with where this team is at and how many needs we have to give up Kirk and 2 additional first-round picks, plus you're going to have to pay him $55 million. That's where I say, listen, I'd love to have Lamar. Don't get me wrong. I hear everything you're saying. Right. I'm just saying now I'm thinking it from a team building standpoint. If I'm going to be on Kirk Cousins about how difficult it is to build a team with a good, not great quarterback at 35 to 40 million. If I'm talking about bringing Lamar in for 50 to 55 and giving up 2 firsts, then I've got to be consistent with my argument.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with as far as the money thing goes. You know what I mean? But over here at Triple P, man, we
don't care about the cap on this.
We dream, man. We dream over here, man. You know what I mean? Ain't no damn cap.
and I like Lamar Jackson, but I guess for my personal opinion, I would rather have I would take him definitely over Kirk Cousins. If that's what we did, I'd be like, all right, let's ride with it. But I'd rather have the guy who's a throw. I want a guy who has mobility, but I want them to be kind of a
throw first
guy than Lamar Jackson. I would prefer. I think that would work better with the offense that we do have right now, anyways. But don't get me wrong, dude. Lamar, there's no other Lamar Jacksons.
Yeah, no, there
other than Michael Vick is probably like the closest thing you can get.
Zach said you mean like Deshaun. Now I'm gonna tell you what, Zach, like that's good. Like, but Deshaun, you got to remember, he came in. First of all, he didn't play football for 2 seasons, and then he came in week 13. So we can't really judge. Let's have this conversation next season, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Deshaun Watson gonna be an issue. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I don't think he's gonna be any worse than he was.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like let's talk when he starts.
Week 1. I have a Deshaun Watson signed helmet.
For real?
Yeah, I'm holding it too. I paid a little bit too much, I think, so I'm holding it.
Okay, I was about to say, Jamie about to do giveables out this way. Get rid of it.
Hey, maybe someday.
So here's the analogy.
I'll wait to see if he steps it
blows
up,
up,
which I think he would. His
value
should only go.
That's a very good point, Sarah.
Yeah, cool listening to your show, Mr. Rap, New Mexico. Appreciate you, Eric, man. Appreciate you. That man call me Mr. Rap. I like it. It's Mr. Rap to you, sir. Nah, but appreciate you for real, Eric. You always showing love, man, for sure. Let me see. Bob said Lance is still the best option. I mean, I'm 100% with that. Like, to be honest with you, like to make a move, I would take Trey Lance. Like right now, rather than even drafting a quarterback, I believe, because you kind of almost get the same thing, to me. And unless we're getting, like Jamie said, like I would do that rather than get a later quarterback, like in the 4th round.
Well, you take a real chance, and like if you trade up for Will Levis, of course, I like the kind of quarterback. Exactly, that's why you asked me that. But that's the kind of quarterback that I want to see. And obviously, I personally don't know enough about Will Levis. I'll know a little bit more about him as the offseason goes along. But if the Vikings think that's their quarterback and they went up and grabbed him, like then you're being serious. Like you want to find that future quarterback. That's all I want. I want you to try to find a good chance. Like
just give us a sign
in the 3rd round.
Yeah, give us a sign that you're trying to build for the future.
Do that. I can do with Kirk Cousins for 2 more years even.
Right.
If we have a quarterback behind him. I mean, obviously, if we have a Will Levis, like if we had an Anthony Richardson, maybe 2 years makes a little bit more sense than Will Levis there. But I don't care. Like the Kirk Cousins things, I wouldn't even care. Just make sure we have someone behind him that can potentially be our future after Kirk Cousins is gone. Because I agree with all of you guys where I don't think Kirk Cousins is bringing us to a Super Bowl in those 2 years. So at least hopefully we have someone ready and prepared to jump in and hopefully can do that for us.
But
not fact, you have to take a chance. There's a chance he could suck too, but you have to take those chances.
You got to. That's the only way to find out. Hold on. Zach said I was talking about your paying for services comment. Oh, in regards to Deshaun Watson. Oh yeah. I got you now, man. Oh, I thought you were talking like he was like trash or something. My bad. I see what you said. Paying for services. Yeah, you got to pay for the good services, man. You got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
So here's what I was trying to say a minute ago. So for any Viking fan out there that likes Kirk Cousins and is afraid of, well, we got to just stay the course with him because we could end up with Ponder or TJ. here's the thing. And again, I'm just gonna say guys and gals, as Rap said earlier, we got some gals in the house and all that good stuff, but I'm not gonna say the thing twice just to be gender neutral. Let's say you're this guy and you're like you're one of the band geeks. You're not the star football player or basketball player in high school, so you date girls as best you can, and you're usually stuck dating 4s and 5s, right? Okay. And so you see the football players with the 8s and 9s and the 10s, and you're like, man. And then along comes this girl that transfers in, and she's a 6, and she wants to date you. And you're saying to yourself, oh, this 6 wants to date me. Now, that's better than the 4s and the 5s that I have been dating, not as good as the 8s and 9s. And then you start convincing yourself that this 6 you got is really a 7 or a 7.5. Like, no, she's still a 6. You're just kind of over-exaggerating her because you used to be with the 4 and 5s. Kirk Cousins isn't a 7, 8, or a 9. He's a 6. It's just when you compare that 6 to Ponder and T-Jax, who are 3s and 4s, you try to convince yourself, oh, this 6 is okay. And, it's not that we've been having terrible relationship. It's just kind of okay. Don't be afraid to toss that 6 back. And don't be afraid that you're going to be stuck with the 3 and 4s that you've been dating before because you're the band geek and you're not the star football or basketball player. You know what? The next girl you date might be another 3 or 4, but she might be a 7 or an 8. Don't stay with the comfortable 6.
Yeah. Gain some confidence and go get
some
who
confidence and
you
be
want.
like, all right, you know what? I'm going to test this out again. But to your point, Rap, there will be another quarterback on this Minnesota Vikings roster at some point, and his name won't be Kirk Cousins.
Hey, shout out my boy Skull Mafia in the building, man. That's my Skull, bro, man. He's like, got you, Purple Gang. You already know, man. Shout out my boy. Hey, that's my boy, man.
Justin, I want to say your analogy game's on point, man. You got them fire analogies, man. Just constantly, boom. You just come with all kinds of scenarios for us to
yeah, man. This is Dave said this is the moment I try to change the subject. No. We're not changing this. Not tonight, man. Hey, for the ones who popped up late, man, y'all gotta rerun the tape. Go rerun the tape, man. This thing gonna be on the internet forever, man. We curb stomping this kid straight up. Like, for real. This is like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I use that analogy to say that once again, we're not saying that we think he's garbage and that he's trash. We just saying we've gone as far as we can with this, and it's time to look in a different direction. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
And at the beginning of the show, for the ones who came in late, because we got 31 people in the building right now, and for the ones who weren't here when we only had 10. We had a disclaimer at the very beginning of the show where we said, listen, none of this is about trying to slander Kirk's character as a man outside of football. We know he has children. We respect him as a father. Great stand-up guy. We're judging him off the sole fact of in between the hashes, all right? When he's on the football field. That's when we're judging. And the contract table, too. We're taking it to the contract table, too. But other than that, I'm
still going to watch his Netflix documentary and all that stuff, and I think it's going to be I'll watch it. I think it'll be good. The Kirk Chains thing, that was an awesome thing to see. Yeah, he has some. I mean, obviously the greatest comeback in NFL history, all that stuff. I think it's still going to be great.
That was a heck of a game. I was at that game and I was just like, I cannot believe what I'm watching. I was like, man,
you were at that game. You did. There's some. How many people left? I had one buddy there that stayed.
At least 20 to 25%. I'll say it like this. I don't know if you've ever been to a preseason game where like the upper half of the bowl is all you can see.
I've been. Yeah.
People were taking their programs and making paper airplanes.
That's
what they do. Yeah. That's what they do it like in the preseason. They were doing that in the middle of the second quarter of this game, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. But having said all that, again, I did a video going into the playoffs when Dan Orlovsky said that Kirk was like 12 out of the 14 playoff quarterbacks. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. He is not 12th out of 14 of these playoffs. Like,
why not? Explain yourself.
There's no way you're gonna put Geno Smith ahead of Kirk Cousins.
Who ain't? I am. This year right here.
I'm not.
Yeah, this year I would have. Yeah, this year I would have.
I wouldn't have. Or I want to put
not
Daniel
regular
Jones
season
ahead of him.
Geno Smith.
We haven't. Geno Smith has barely had a starting gig, let alone a
I'm talking about this season. We're talking about this season, right?
I would rather have Kirk Cousins this season.
Nah, man, Geno was balling, man.
But Geno could, there's a chance Geno's he's someone who might
he won comeback.
He was like a 3 or 4 who might be on his way to like that 7 or 8.
He won comeback player of the year. I'm tell you that. Geno balled.
I mean, he played fantastic. the jury's out on him for me for sure.
Yeah.
He's
He might actually get a bag. He might actually get a bag. I hope he do, man.
I wouldn't be
I hope he
paying
do.
him.
Absolutely.
I need more
But
than one season from a quarterback.
listen,
I think at this
Yeah,
point.
for sure. I
all
agree
night
with
I've
that,
been
though.
saying I'm ready to go on to the next era, but no, he's not. I'm not putting Geno Smith ahead of Kirk Cousins. No,
I'm not yet. Maybe next year. Maybe.
Minutes, Dave saying he has a 2025 exit strategy. Nobody wants to hear that, Dave.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
Nobody
That's
wants to
way
hear
too long.
2025. That's too far. That's too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dave. That's too long. 2025 is too long. It's only 2023. We're not trying to watch. That means we're gonna have 3 more off seasons where we got to talk about. We got to have these convos, and I don't want to.
Come
do that.
on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have this convo off a rookie quarterback that failed us, and we can say, or even a 1-year quarterback, and we can say, hey, look, he's young, have faith in him, and we can focus on other parts of the team. We can start blaming other veterans. But, Kirk is a veteran on this team, and he deserves blame. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of the Kirk stands try to move him to the side while they talk about why the team didn't win. But absolutely not, man. He's the captain of the team. And another thing, when they said he's the only one that didn't vote himself to be a captain,
Who cares?
To me, they say that's humble. To me, man, humble. Listen, when you're a player like that, to me, that just shows that you just a beta male. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Because at the end of the day, like, a real quarterback that's a leader would have been like, hell yeah, I'm voting me. Fuck is you talking about? This is
I
my
like
football team.
humbleness like that, but when you're a quarterback, part of me is like, you should just be like, yeah, I'm the guy. Like, I'm the guy here.
And we know that nobody was going to vote
it.
against it, because obviously that would have been a story too. You know what I mean?
Right,
you didn't vote for Kirk. They would have blew that up. So, I mean, it was the right thing. But damn, Kirk, vote for yourself too, bro. Like, who'd you vote for? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to know. Who'd you vote for? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't vote for yourself, you know what I mean? This man won't even bet on himself. Like, that just tells you right there. The man won't even bet on himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't even think he's a captain. Like, he literally doesn't think he's worthy to be a captain on the football team. Like, straight up. Like, that should just sum it up right there. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't even got to go no further. You feel me? Like, for real. Shout out Angel in the building, man. Hey, how y'all feeling? Y'all want to keep y'all got something to do? Y'all got to get up out of here?
Nah, I'm good.
Oh, all right, because
we
rolling, man.
We
down.
This
we
train
can pump
rolling,
it for 2 hours, man. We got 34 people in the building. How y'all feel, chat, man? Put a skull in the chat if y'all want us to keep rocking.
What's
man.
up, Angela? Thanks for joining.
Drop a skull in the chat, man. Y'all drop a skull in the chat. Y'all want us to keep rocking, man. We can pivot and kind of give Kirk a break, man, and we'll come back and stomp him in a little bit more before we get out of here. But we can pivot and start talking about something else. Matter of fact, chat, it's time for y'all to rock the party, man. Y'all let us know what y'all want to talk about, man. Let's talk about some free agents.
There's a couple of in there that I saw a minute ago. Like, one of them said, how would you grade the 2022 draft right now? My answer is B- with a lot of incompletes due to some injuries.
I'm saying a straight up C. It's easy for me. I mean, obviously, I think. Who I say, Ryan Wright was a big steal. Ed Ingram, having him in the second round to be able to start the entire year, that's good. Obviously, we didn't get to see enough Lewis Cine. You could call that incomplete, but I'm going to say that's the trade back to get Lewis Cine, and then he gets hurt. And obviously, he didn't start the season as a starter or anything like that. He wasn't even in rotation yet. We didn't obviously see enough of Andrew Booth with his injuries and stuff, which obviously is a big deal. And you drafted him knowing he had the injuries. Who am I missing here? Oh, Asamoah, fantastic pick. I think he has a lot of potential, and I like him a lot. So I'll give a good grade for that's where the good grades are. But overall, for the first season, I just didn't feel like we've seen enough. None of those guys, other than Ed Ingram and Ryan Wright, ended the season as a starter or anything like that. I do think next year we'll probably put Asamoah in that position. But there's a lot. The jury's out on this draft. And
I'm gonna go with a C too, to keep it simple. I think a C feels right. In the zone.
Thanks, Penguin. That was Penguin's question, by the way. So thanks for that one.
Oh yeah, shout out Penguin in the building, man. In the zone, man. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to my boy podcast too, man. My boy got a Vikings podcast too, man. He was on the show. He was on live with me a couple weeks ago. Y'all remember, man, the chat. Yep. So this the boy right here, man. But he said, Paris Campbell, we need to sign that wide receiver. Who was he from the Colts? Or Paris Campbell?
He was. For sure, he was drafted by the Colts. I don't know if he played for them last year.
I'll check it right now.
I think the most intriguing wide receiver right now, like free agent for me, is DJ Chark.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, we talked about it on. I did pop in here actually, technically one other time when we were talking about the free agents and stuff. And I just think DJ Chark. I don't know for sure if he's going to be that for sure, like higher end wide receiver too that we're looking for. But I think he's going to be someone that gets paid less than what his talent is, just because he seems like someone that just hasn't been able to get the respect coming from Jacksonville, goes to Detroit, didn't really have the season probably that he was hoping, dealing with some injuries and stuff. So I think he's the guy that goes into this free agency and is better than what he gets paid for compared to a lot of these other wide receivers we're seeing, like Jacoby Myers. I think he's going to get a decent amount. Alan Lazard, I think he's going to be a decent amount, since they're technically that we're the wide receiver ones on their teams. So that's how I feel about DJ Chark.
And Dylan, us having these conversations is answering your question. I'm gonna try to get to all y'all questions, man. I ain't gonna skip nobody. So if y'all got questions, drop them. I might not get to them right away in order, but we gonna run through, man. We gonna run this thing for 2 hours at least. You know what I mean? So we still got damn 20 minutes. So y'all drop your questions. So thoughts on Cameron Sutton? You know what I mean? Like I did a video on this. I'll take that. I think there's a relationship there with him and Brian Flores. I mean, it just makes sense. You know what I mean? He's not gonna cost an arm and a leg, but he's still a solid player. He's not too old. I think he would bring value, honestly. So yeah, I'm all in on Cameron Sutton. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
I agree. He's a slot corner. I'm still like, the first thing I want to know is what they think about Duke Shelley and if they're planning on bringing Duke Shelley back. And I think they should bring Duke Shelley back.
Yeah, I think they have to, right?
Rab, you and I, we in fact, we talked about him earlier, the Xavier Howard guy. It's a long shot at best. But if you could get either Xavier Howard or Cameron Sutton on this team and re-sign Duke Shelley, then your expectations of a Caleb Evans and Cam Dantzler and Booth, now that they're talking about being the 3, 4, and 5, as opposed to those guys being the 2 or 3 or whatever else, you get, I mean, obviously it would be a dream scenario to get both of them, but you get one of those 2 guys and re-sign Duke Shelley, your secondary, your secondary is light years better at that point. All due respect to Patrick Peterson, and I know he's the one guy that liked Donatello because he's like playing the zone a little bit. But I think that you get one of those 2. You bring in a top cornerback. I'd rather get it one of the free agent cornerbacks or trade for a top cornerback so that you're not pigeonholed into considering. I don't want to go cornerback in the first round. I want to go wide receiver. I want to go
it'd
center.
It'd be smart play
back,
probably,
whatever.
But man, we've just sucked so bad in the first. Obviously, we don't have the same GM as the years before, but it sucks getting a cornerback, and especially a position that's so hard to learn in the first year. He's not going to, chances are he's not going to make an immediate impact. Maybe, but there's not a lot of Sauce Gardners.
I ain't gonna lie. I disagree with y'all fellas on that cornerback. If we go Davon Witherspoon, like if we go Davon Witherspoon, then I'm like, because he's in the same category as Sauce Gardners and Stingley's and stuff like that.
If they're like a no-brainer guy,
no, he's not going to fall to 23.
Then, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Like that, our position, if we stand pat with the cornerbacks that are there, I still, again, I have to do my due diligence with all this draft stuff still. But I don't think there's going to be a cornerback around that area that for sure is like I think there's going to be other players that are better at their positions that we might need, and it could be a wide receiver, even linebacker. I know that's. People are talking about the
Ivan Pace Jr. is my favorite linebacker so far.
Oh, is
Ivan Pace Jr., man, from Cincinnati, man. That boy different. I'm telling you, boy.
I was actually gonna not to pivot too far.
Yeah,
but
ahead.
I know what's his name got the Rams and
Bobby Wagner. I just released the video. I released the video right before we went live on that. Man.
What's your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts.
I need to see his age on
he's
that.
32, so my thoughts are kind of like, you know what I mean? For the amount of money, because he is a household name, I feel like keeping Kendricks would probably make more sense.
Exactly. I was just saying that's the same thing.
But if they made it, if we made the move, it would still excite me just knowing that we're making moves. You know what I mean? Because I'm the type man, I just like making moves. Like,
I know.
Show me that you're trying to. Yeah, show me you trying to get there. You know what I mean? Like rather than just running it back. But I mean, realistically, without that being said, if it was just, hey, Wagner for this amount of money or just keep I would keep Kendricks. You know what I mean? Because I like Kendricks and I think Kendricks still has a little bit in there. You know what I mean? Like I still think he got a little bit in there, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's such a smart player to where, you know what I mean? I think he can figure it out with,
especially if we just get him at a better price now.
Right.
I was going to say, Dave has made a couple of good points. I think he made it on you guys' show last night. I know he definitely made it on Monday with me and SK. And it piggies off a point that I've made that up until last year, Anthony Barr was the guy with the headset getting the signals from the defensive coordinator. This year was Eric Hendricks. So I do think some of it is him getting a little bit older, and some of it's maybe some added responsibility of having to put guys in the right place and maybe his reaction time isn't that. I'm not bringing Eric Kendricks back on his current number. It's going to have to be for less. But if he could, cut his salary in half as an example, or get a lower cap number, or maybe get a 1-year extension to lower that, I'm definitely cool with having him back. I'm definitely down for Wagner as a replacement for Hicks. But I'm kind of like you.
But the money probably won't add up.
But if Wagner's looking for a halfway decent bag,
y'all hear rap on his intelligence shit, man. Y'all hear me on my capologist shit, man. The money ain't gonna add up. See, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing good. Hey, real
I
quick,
almost fell out my chair when I heard you say that. I was
before we continue, man, I'm making this larger right here, man. This is the hats are coming. You feel me? This right here, this is the official logo. I don't know if y'all can see it because I actually got it.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, you know what I mean? So this is the official logo, man, that y'all see right here, man. The hats are coming. They just emailed me today. They're going to be ready, I think, tomorrow or Monday. So be on the lookout, man. Viking lifestyle hats coming, man. Sweatshirts coming. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with the boy when I release these. You know what I mean? That's all I ask is just shop with the boy, man. Let's spread this shit. Definitely. I want to get JJ to wear one. One of the players going to wear one. That's my goal. And when I set goals, man, RAP gonna get to it. I'm gonna tell you right now. So there will be a football player, a Vikings football player wearing that Viking lifestyle one day. I'm telling you, and I need y'all help to do that shit, man. So yeah, I just want to throw that in.
Rap will retire with all that
money. Facts, man. We trying to spread the movement, man. Hey, we turning the world into a Vikings world. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like for real,
man. Fan base on the planet.
I'm telling you, like when I started this YouTube, man, y'all know what I said, man. I said, hey, look, we coming here to take over, bro. It is what it is. Like for real, man. I've been watching all these other teams with their little YouTubers thinking they running shit, man. They got it twisted. You know what I mean? Like we here now.
We're going for the world. We're not not just America. We're going all over the place.
Exactly.
There's probably some. Well, I know. I think is it Bandito? There's someone who.
Yeah, he be in the building.
Is he? Is he the one? Is he from like another country? There's one of them that pops in a lot that he's from like England or something like that.
Yeah. Dylan said Ivan Pace Jr. is a dog. You right about that rap. Hey, I'm telling you, just like last year, remember y'all, who did I want? I wanted your boy from Baylor, man. You know, Petrie. Hey, I told y'all we could have got Petrie. What happened with Petrie? He's damn near one of the best safeties in the NFL last year as a rookie. You know what I mean? As a rookie. So just believe me, Quasey, man. Believe me sometimes. I know I ain't no damn genius, but I'm going to tell you right now, man, like, God damn it, I know a motherfucker that can play football. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Real quick before we go to the next one, whoever, I don't even know who's up next, but to the person who asked, how will we grade? You guys said C, I said B-. Part of the reason I say B- is because of how much money he left on that table with that trading back from the 12 to the 32. Okay.
Right.
To remind people, we traded our first round pick and our second round pick for the Detroit Lions first round pick, which was the Rams, and then Detroit's second round pick, and then something else. My point was this: if you had traded back from 12 to 32 and got the Detroit second without giving up your own second, then I like that deal.
Right.
Or if you had still given up your own second and then got a first round pick in this year's draft, I also like that deal.
I would have loved that deal.
Obviously, whether it would have been the Rams or the Lions, I don't care. But my overall point is that when I grade that draft class, it's unless these guys become superstars, I mean perennial Pro Bowlers or maybe an All-Pro, when you passed up on a Kyle Hamilton, imagine Kyle Hamilton right now next to Harrison Smith. I mean, that's no disrespect to seeing, we wish him nothing but the best. We hope he come back strong. But that's the reason why I can't go any higher.
Yeah, Hamilton was considered a generational safety coming into
the guy I wanted was Chris Olave, and he went one pick.
And we just passed on him.
Yeah. And I like Garrett Wilson a lot. He passed a couple picks, but I was liking both those. And but the Hamilton thing, it's like we passed up a guy a lot of people thought was a generation talent at the safety position, and we trade back all the way with that trade that wasn't great in our favor, and then we ended up picking a safety anyways. Right. And obviously Lewisine could be a baller. I mean, we don't. The jury's out on that.
But
shout out Lewisine.
You passed on a generational talent that actually even proved it this year. That he was the second PFF.
It's more for me that you didn't get enough value for it.
Yeah, that's what bothers me the most. I mean, how do you not when that happened? It's like, oh, you're like any other team. You see something like that go back 20 positions. You're getting 2 first round picks or something. Yeah. Obviously, there wasn't enough quarterbacks in this draft. That's a reason why. Yeah. But Man,
Yeah.
that was
Anyway.
My bad, George, man. I ain't put the I in there,
George,
man. It was a, you know what I mean? It was an executive decision, man. You know what I mean? Just trying to keep it as simple and clean as possible. You still got to cop one though, man. Still got to cop one for the boy, man. You know what I mean? You my boy, so you got to cop one regardless, man.
we know that.
Shit, you could draw an eye on that motherfucker if you want. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Too Evil said Quasi gets an F+. My boy don't be playing.
That reminds me.
no, you don't.
You don't see the John Randall back there anymore, Too Evil. So that ought to tell you.
Oh yeah, because Too Evil wanted it. I'd rather draft a wide receiver and spend
I ain't
money on
giving that
free
away to
agency for
nobody.
defense. So Sarah, you on to something, Sarah? Like, yeah, because that's how it should be,
tonight.
really. Like, that's how you should really construct a team. Is, you know, you pick either offense on the draft and you go defense free agency, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, really, unless your guy is just there and it just pans out like that, because we got to have faith in this front office of making the right decisions. Now, I mean, I give them a C. But I mean, it really could be a D because, yeah, I mean, a lot of it didn't really show up. But Lewis Seen got injured too, so that kind of makes it a little unfair because maybe he could have competed with Kyle Hamilton. You know what I mean? Because I think he definitely would have been starting over Cam Bynum.
Yeah, and I mean that guy, he ran 4.3. Like he was the fastest. I think he was the fastest safety in the draft. And he just hits hard. Like there's a lot of potential in Lewis Seen. I see why the Vikes liked him, and I hope he becomes that guy. But you know, he didn't really crack the rotation before the season started, and then obviously the injury. So the jury's out.
He said, Blood Eagle said, thoughts on Flores and how different do you think this year's defense will be?
A lot different. It should be completely different, entirely different. It's all about the blitz and not the shell, like completely opposite. So at least it will be completely different, is exactly what we wanted. But of course, I mean, better. We'll find out. I hope so.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be more aggressive, man, for sure. Let me just try to run through these real quick. This one for you, Dave. You can answer this one. Do you think that Thielen is here at the start of next season?
If it was me, I would say no, but it's not me. It's the Wilfs, and the Wilfs are attached to certain legacy players, or is what me and Mike like to call them, sacred cows. I think that the time for Thielen to go is now, and I would all kind of like the disclaimer about Kirk Cousins at the beginning of the show. Disclaimer that when we talk about any of our legacy,
get him up out of here.
We don't talk about CJ. We don't talk about CJ Ham though. He's staying. He's staying. He's a lifer.
It's nothing personal. It's business. I'm sorry, Adam Thielen. He's slow. He just doesn't have it anymore. I know he was battling through a little bit of an injury. That was just reported on today.
Quit playing my boy like that. Nah, for real. He gotta go though. He gotta go. I agree.
He's got to go. Here's the thing. I don't think that there's a number that Adam Thielen would accept that I would be okay with. Yeah,
it ain't him. It's his wife. It's his wife. His wife wears the draws. I'll tell you that right now. His wife wears the draws.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on from Thielen.
His wife absolutely wears the draws in that.
I think there's a chance he is on the team just because obviously.
I still love him.
Of course, there's a chance.
Reports with their extent, they're talking to him or whatever to bring down his price, but it would have to be around like, I don't know. I think people are saying like 6 to 8 million because that's too
much for me still. Though.
But that's
he might as well take it too, man.
Well, I guess, but it's about the cap. Like if we were to release him or if we were to cut him, it's like what we get. We still have to take 13 million in dead money before the June 1st or whatever. If we do hold off until June 1st, I think it's like the opposite of that.
My boy said during the Super Bowl, man, he still got he want to show people he still got a couple more years in him, man. We're gonna see.
And I think he definitely wants to. My biggest thing with him, I think, is is he going to want to be a third wide receiver? Because I feel like at this point, that's what we kind of want him to be. So I think that's kind of where it comes from and I don't want to stunt like even Jalen Naylor's growth.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready to see one of these guys blossom. And I don't know if Adam Thielen's ready for that to happen.
Plus, you still got one more year on.
He ain't got no choice. See, this is my thing. Like even with the Justin Jefferson, when we talked about the quarterback thing, like I put it like this: like these guys, man, these guys are employees, bro. Like they don't make the decisions like that. Like you can be mad all you want, but you're just gonna have to be mad. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just gonna have to be mad because we're gonna do what we have to do for this team to win. You know what I'm saying? It's like me. I have kids, and it's like I'm not gonna come home now. On a one note, my daughter can say, "Hey, I feel like eating this for dinner," but at the end of the day, like they're gonna eat what I make tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. Like they are employees in my house under my roof. You know what I mean? Like, Just is what it is. Like, and I
That's-
feel the same way.
You know,
I mean, now they have say so. Now JJ's a franchise, and
yeah, like if they get like
Right.
2,000 yards receiving, then
yeah,
they
like
might be
JJ
taking-
obviously he's
Hey
the best
JJ, what
player
you
on the
want?
team.
What you want to have at the crib tonight?
whatever you want.
Whatever you
But-
want. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I'm also
Adam,
saying
you
too
eat
though.
this.
But I'm also saying too though, like they shouldn't base going for a quarterback for the people who do believe like Justin Jefferson would get mad. They shouldn't
Right.
have that in their mind if they see their guy and they go and they shouldn't feel like they have to go ask Justin Jefferson like, hey, would you be okay with a rookie quarterback throwing for us for a
Right,
year? Like,
right.
no, you just go do it. And whatever happens. If he wants to go, you gotta do what's best for the team at the end of the day, because we're all Vikings fans and we got one goal at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of who's gonna have the jersey on, man, we trying to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a fact, man. That's all we want, guys, man. Please just give us one Quasi, man. Make it happen.
Come on. You gotta
But to
you
your
gotta
point,
swing for the
Casey-
fences though, man. You're gonna have to. I just feel like that's the only way we ever get to see Super Bowls. We gotta find that franchise quarterback.
We
and
got
give us
to.
that chance. But
What do
real
y'all
chance.
think about
Real chance.
Brenton? I don't know this guy. I don't know if y'all know him. Brenton Cox Jr. Shout out to Angel for the question. Brenton Cox Jr. is an edge beast. I don't know. I haven't seen him, man. I'm gonna go check him out tonight though for sure, because I might drop a video. Let's see who tapped in with me, man. What's the wide receiver I want? You know, speaking of Thielen, y'all know who I want.
Well,
If
I know
y'all
you
really
want.
tapped in with Triple P, then y'all know who I want. You know what I'm
You
saying?
want me to
Like,
say it, or you
keep
want
it real.
somebody in the chat to say it?
Let's see if somebody puts it in the chat real
All
quick.
right.
Let's give it a couple seconds real quick. And let's
While
see.
we're waiting on that, let me answer Jamie's question. So
All right,
Adam
go ahead.
Thielen's cap, it's 19.9. So let's just say it's 20 million. If they cut him pre-June 1st, it'd be 13.5 dead, savings of 6.5. If they do it post-June 1st,
It'd be about 6.5 saved.
Man,
or
my
6.5
boy Guy
dead.
Black tapped in with
yeah,
the kid, man.
here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying though about these post-June 1st designations.
No.
Hey, my boy Guy Black tapped in, man.
No.
Hey, Dylan tapped in. Let's go, man. Hey, Bob, man. Come on, Bob. I thought you was my boy. Come on, Bob. Let's get it, man. Tank down,
There you
baby.
go. Guy got it. But here's the thing though. The post June 1st designation, yes, it would only count you 6.5 dead this year, but it would then cost you 6.5 dead next year. So reminder for people, if you do the post June 1st designation and it says, oh, well, if we wait till the 1st, it only is going to dead this. Well, whatever you didn't dead this year gets deaded next year. And at some point, to me, I just want to get all these dead cap hits off the books. So
yeah.
And the other thing too,
if you talking about Thielen, man, it's making me emotional.
Well, I'm gonna finish it like this. If you post June 1st, you can't spend any of that savings until after June 1st, which means all the first wave, second wave of free agency gone. So to me, I'd rather just do it pre-June 1st and be done with it. But that's just me. What's next?
Right. And then that's 13 mil cap hit.
Yes.
Right.
So if we were to give him a pay cut and he was making 6 to 8 this year, you would actually save what, 6 million? Yeah. 6 to 7 million. So you'd save almost double his contract if you're able to make that. Though, like that being said, I do think it's not going to be that easy because I don't also don't want him to stunt the growth of other wide receivers like Jalen Naylor, or if we pick one in the first round potentially. But that is someone else brought that up. So that's why I say that is you could give him a pay cut and then you don't lose that cap space or that extra dead cap, and you actually save some money by doing that. But
you got to get him to take that pay cut.
Let's do Bailey,
you got to get him which I don't know if he'll do that.
This is actually Ryan. This is actually Ryan right here. He's just under another name right now. He said, "Let's talk about Harrison." And man, shout out my boy Juked in the building, man. I seen you earlier, Juke, man. My fault, man. I know you were up there, man. The chat was kind of going crazy, man. Shout out Juked in the building, man. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact, man. Day one. You know, A1 since day one, man. OG.
Hey, that's Anthony Edwards said that.
Is he talking about Harrison Smith or Harrison Phillips? Just so I'm clear.
Harrison. I'm probably Harrison Smith. I'm sure.
All right.
Harrison Smith. Yeah. You know what I mean? How we feel about that? Because at the end of the day, like, yeah, I know you're high on him, Dave. I've heard some of your takes on Harrison saying that, you know, he still has some stuff in the tank and he's the one player you wouldn't touch if it came to all the veterans. If you can erase all the veterans, the one veteran, and you can only take one with you into next season. Am I correct by saying that day that you said you would take Harrison out of all? We're talking about Thielen, Kendricks, Danielle Hunter. What's another one? I guess we could say we could throw Cook in there.
Yeah.
Well, I would say
those are about the core. Those are about the core.
Yeah. I'd say Danielle Hunter 1, Harrison Smith 2.
That's where I'm at.
The thing about Harrison Smith,
Harrison Smith 2.
He still got it. He still got time to play. He's still got talent to give. He's still got contributions to make. The problem is his cap number 19 this year, 19 next year, 22 the year after that. And if you just renegotiate with him and say, oh, well, let's just move his cap number down to 12 and we'll save $7 million. Great. Well, now then you just took $3.5 million into the next 2 years additional. So now you're looking at 23.5 and 25.5. So at some point you can't just keep kicking the can down the road. Now, yes, if he were to agree to a pay cut, because most of his money is actually in base salary. So if he was agreeable to a pay cut, absolutely. Now, if he's not willing to renegotiate, he's not willing to take a pay cut, he's probably the one that I would stump for the most, because like what we talked about earlier with Flores about being aggressive, when one of the commenters asked how different is it going to be, where it's the complete opposite about blitzing and being aggressive. I said this on Monday with SK and Dave. Just think about Harrison Smith and what Mike Zimmer used to use him to do and how Flores would absolutely do that. So that's why I'm more leaning towards that. Now, the numbers are a different story, but that's the reason why, is because I think Flores is going to take advantage of him like Zimmer did.
And I agree. That's what George Blunt said up here too. Hitman stays, need him for the new DC. I think Harrison Smith and Flores is a match made in heaven. I think in the opposite with Ed Donatel's defense, we didn't get to see Harrison Smith at the line enough. And when he was, man, you still seen the old Harry. And I definitely still think he has some in the tank. And man, I think even compared to Mike Zimmer, you're getting a guy who's a specialist with blitzes. And I can imagine, I mean, there's no question. I'm thinking when Flores comes into that meeting for this job, Hunter and Smith were at the top of his head.
And I seen something earlier too, Jamie. That from shout out Purple for the win, where he said Harrison Smith only blitzed like 12 times last year. I think.
I said that.
Crazy. Yeah.
And prior to that, he would blitz almost 90 times or 70 to 90
like
times.
That's a travesty.
Season.
He's literally
like, bro, that is crazy gap. I can see if it was like 40 and 50, but it's 12 and 90. Like, bro, that's
an area he's so special. And he's a good all around safety, but he's special on the blitz. Like that makes him different. I literally think he's the best I've seen, or in his career. I think he was the best at that of all the safeties in the NFL.
And that's the thing, like, and that's the even same thing with Kendricks. It's almost like we're judging these veterans that we had off of last year with Ed Donatel, and it's almost hard to make a decision, because it's like even Danielle Hunter.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Even Danielle Hunter.
But it could not be.
You know, it's like damn. It's like, yo, like seriously, like, I mean, we get rid of these guys, they go play for somebody else, an actual competent defensive coordinator, and we're like, yo, like, why? You know what I mean? Like, we could have had that. So it's almost it's a tough situation for the front office this offseason with the Vikings, man.
I wish they would have just switched to Pettin midseason.
Yeah, they should have did something. Yeah, they should have did something.
Because now it's like, man, are you guys getting old, or was it the system? I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
that's almost the worst thing about this year. As fun as it was, and all the comebacks and Buffalo and the Colts game we talked about. This time last year, we heard that phrase competitive rebuild, and we all wondering, are we going to go backwards a little bit? Are we going to try and push forward? We're asking ourselves the same questions. We got no resolution one way or the other, which is ridiculous. When you win 13 games and you got no resolution whatsoever, are we a team that it was Mike Zimmer's fault and we can push forward, or it's the players and we need to rebuild? We're literally asking ourselves the same questions we were asking ourselves last year. We got no resolution whatsoever, which is kind of funny when you win 13 games like that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to In the Zone saying it's time to get young players in there to play. And I've been stressing that too. Like, we need to get younger, faster, stronger. I mean, it's as simple as that. We do, but I also am a firm believer of you have to have veterans spread out throughout the field too. Because you just need that, man. You know what I mean? You just can't go out there with everybody being too young. You need
Zoe wants to get rid of everybody.
Yeah, like you got to at least keep. Zoe's like, man, blow it all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Like, blow it up. Like, we're gonna turn into an XFL team out this.
He's like, get rid of Cook, get rid of Cousins, get rid of Thielen.
Everybody got to go. You know what I mean?
Everybody.
For real, but that's unrealistic, man. We got to keep some people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, fella. Hey, shout out Den. All right, shout out Den right here. Said, sorry, fellas, all vets gotta go young. Hey, I mean, and I feel where people feel like that. You know what I mean? Because you always feel like there's always better out there. You know
right.
It just is what it is. But we have some veterans that are proven that need to stay, like Danielle Hunter. Absolutely, for sure. I feel like needs to stay, and 100%. I'm okay with the Harrison Smith staying too. You know what I mean? And Lewis Cine playing the other safety position. I think those two together, especially Lewis Cine, especially Harrison Smith actually staying too to groom Lewis Cine a little bit for a year too. That would play a big part in Lewis Cine's development. So you know what I mean? I'm definitely okay with that.
Danielle Hunter for sure. Like Zadarius, like I kind of assume that we're not re-signing Zadarius Smith. I just know his house is up. I'm saying all that stuff.
I'll say this. I heard Doogie today, one of the guys on the TV broadcast who also does a radio hit. He was saying that Zadarius Smith was moving out of that house because he and his family have outgrown it, and that it was just like, okay, he bought a small house just to begin with, and that he's just like, no, we're not. Whether I'm still on this team or not, he was getting out of that house. So take that for whatever it's worth.
Right. Of course, all those little rumors and stuff is gonna happen from especially house sales. That's always like what everybody brings up. But I was just gonna say, but Danielle Hunter, you're not gonna find edge rushers like him easily.
Right.
Like we've been spoiled with edge rushers. We've been spoiled with running backs. Back to Rap's point. We don't really know what it's like when we don't have one, because there's tons of other teams that are constantly searching for those positions, especially edge rusher. And there's teams that never, kind of like us with quarterback, they can never find that guy who can go and get 10 sacks every single year. And I don't think it's that easy, especially Danielle Hunter's 28 years old. He's not old. He's a vet, but he's a young vet, especially at the defensive edge position, where we've seen Jared Allen and guys like that go past their 30s. Everson Griffin go past their 30s. So he has a lot left in the tank, and he was playing in a defense that was not made for him at all. And now he has, of course, a blitz specialist in Flores. So I think he's an absolutely no-brainer. You have to keep him. You can't go into this season without Zadarius or Hunter and not have any pass rushers in a guy who's specifically is a specialist in that area. So I think you got Danielle Hunter's. You have to have him next year, 100%.
Hey, y'all go tap in with my boy Jimmy, man. Y'all go tap in with his channel.
I gotta talk about Jim for a minute here.
Yeah,
Jim, you're gonna have. Hold up, Jim. I thought this was off season. Why are we talking stuff? I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused by Jim right now. He be commenting on my videos. He
puts that. He does that
to you too. All right.
He's like, go watch basketball.
No, like, why are you talking this the off season? I'd rather you talk about baseball. I'm like, what?
Yeah, go watch
basketball.
He's joking. Go watch.
Right, if he's joking,
shout out Jim, man.
All right, Jim. I love you. I had to check with you, man.
Yeah, we love Jim, man. Shout out Jim. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Jim, man.
Like the first time I thought he was joking, then he did it the second time. I'm like, okay, now I'm not sure if he's joking or not. So all right, Jim, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all love. You already know. Sucks that we wasted a year of Hunter's prime.
Man. The comments help the algorithm, so keep it.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. For sure.
Make all the comments you want, Jim. All the comments you want.
Yeah, man. But we've been on 2 hours, man. Before we get out of here, man, you know what I'm saying, man? Hey, look, man, I appreciate y'all fellas tapping in with me tonight, man. We had a great ass show, man. Everybody was able to get their steam off. Hey, for the ones who missed it, that tapped in late, man, we apologize. We've been on 2 hours. Run that thing back, because I'm telling you, the beginning of the show was absolutely epic, man. This was one of my favorite shows I've done in a while, because I love talking. I love curb stomping Kirk Cousins. And it's obvious that the Purple Pocket podcast, platform, hey, we all mostly feel the same way. And that's actually why I wanted to have Jamie on, because I knew he wanted to get it out. You know what I mean? Like he gets it out on his channel, but we really got it out tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like we just had to get it out. Now we can rest on it. I know Jamie's gonna get into his draft. Yeah, he's gonna get into his draft stuff. So y'all definitely make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel with him and Casey. They do giveaways. I won a Justin Jefferson card. You said it's autographed too?
No. Oh, maybe someday. It's a rookie.
Oh, I was about to say, like, boy, I'm super lit. But
I'm not saying that in the future there won't be autographed Justin Jefferson cards, but for now, I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, for sure, man. But he does give away, so y'all make sure y'all go over there, man. You know what I mean? And same thing with Justin Day, man. Purple and Gold for days. Y'all make sure y'all go tap in with the boy, man. We also are all coming together. Just to throw that out there, man, we're doing
in the chat. Yeah.
We're doing Purple and Scold Media. Sorry, I was almost gonna say the other name, but we're gonna start that soon. we don't have a certain date yet, but Scold Live will be back with me and Dave, so y'all can hear me chew Dave's head off. I'm sure he's looking forward to that. You know what I mean? Me and him are definitely gonna be going back and forth again for the ones who missed that show. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, just stay tapped in with us, man. That's all we trying to do, man. We trying to take over this thing, man. Vikings over everything. Y'all already know how we rocking. But if y'all got anything y'all want to say, you got anything you want to say, Jamie, before we get up out of here, man, let the people know what's
Just
up.
go get a young quarterback, man. That's it. That's
Let's
all I
go. Curb stomp
get
him a
young
little more.
quarterback. Let's get excited. I want someone that we can root for in the offseason, the preseason, all that stuff. That's what I want. Don't extend Kirk Cousins without finding a younger quarterback. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, and that's my final thought too, is get rid of Kirk. What's your final thought, Dave?
I just want to say thank you, Rap, for putting this show on with us.
Yes.
I don't want to speak out of school for Jamie, but I think I can sufficiently say we had a blast and it's an honor being
Definitely.
here with
I mean,
you.
2 hours. That's the longest I've ever
Absolutely,
went by
man.
far.
It didn't even feel like 2 hours.
No,
it felt
that's
like
the
maybe
longest.
45 minutes.
And we
I've
couldn't
ever
make
went
this.
by
We couldn't
far.
make this happen without the chat, man. Without y'all,
Absolutely.
man. Y'all know how I feel about y'all. Even when I'm by myself, man, I tell y'all all the time how much I love y'all and appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? So for sure, keep it up, man. Y'all make sure y'all tapping in when y'all see my live icon bright and red, man. Y'all make sure y'all hitting that video, man, and tapping in, because you never know who might be in here, and you never know how long we might curb stomp Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? Because we got 6 months of this shit. I'm telling y'all, 6 months of this shit.
There's a comment in there. Hey, you guys should do this every night. We can't do 2 hours of curb stomping Kirk every night. We gotta let that sit.
It's not fair. We could, but it's not fair to Kirk, man.
Right.
I mean, we bring the disclaimer in here. I don't think he'll believe us if we do it every day.
I'm telling you. Nah, but shout out. I know people think me and Dave got a divorce. Nah, man. Shout out Dave. That's still my bro, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, Dave's still my bro, man.
First off, thank you to the couple people that already hit the sub on me tonight. I know Jason right here was one of them, so I appreciate you. But if you could check me out, Purple and Gopher Days. I'm gonna say this: Jamie and Casey on G&G Sports, they're gonna be the guys that go to for draft knowledge. They're the ones that break that stuff down way the heck better than I do. I'm the one that
they do fun mock drafts and stuff too, like where they trade and shit.
Yeah, I'm the one that kind of does specialty players, and I'm kind of the quote unquote salary cap, monster.
He's the capologist, guys. If you want a capologist, go to Day. And if you just want that just hits record and just says a lot of like and
if you want a guy who says sign everything,
you know what I'm saying? Like if you want a bunch of like, you know what I'm saying, and and shit like that, that's when you tap in with already.
You feel me?
I'll just tell you what it is.
If you want the energy, if you want the energy,
yes,
obviously you come here.
The charisma is rap.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, check out our channels, and if you like us, hit that subscribe button.
And we're all in this together and stuff. So
facts,
facts.
You're gonna see me on GG. You're gonna see them on my channel, and everybody. We all do this, and I put it in the link right at the end.
Purple
and I know Rap will probably put it, but we did the Purple and Skull. That's the new media page.
New and improved.
You'll see Rap on there. You'll see Dave on there. You'll see the boys. A
couple
of other special guests and a couple of other new names to the pod that we're not going to announce yet because SK hasn't told us it's official yet. But we got some other good stuff in the work with some familiar faces on YouTube.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be awesome.
Excited.
I don't know what channel it's going to be on, but I know somebody in this group is going to do a live on draft night. We might simulcast. Who the heck knows? But check us out.
Definitely. I'm bringing. Actually,
are you bringing?
I'm gonna do a giveaway thing. I'm doing this. I'm definitely doing a draft thing.
All right. What's up, Michael?
Hold up real quick.
I'm late.
Hey, what's up, Mike? Appreciate you, bro. Mike? Yeah. What'd you grab? Jamie? Go ahead.
For the draft, I got PSA 10 Justin Jefferson rookie card. Anybody that knows anything about cards, this is as good as a base rookie card of Justin Jefferson can possibly get. This is like a $70 card. We will be giving this away on draft night, hopefully with all the boys, all that stuff, and we'll still be giving away the regular Justin Jefferson rookie cards. I got something special planned for that.
And I'm gonna show off my card tomorrow because I'm checking the mail in the morning. So I'm gonna show y'all it's real.
Yeah, I got mine.
He's sending them out.
I got one.
He's sending them out.
We got David Michael. The last comment in here, he just got his in the mail, I think. It's definitely real. It's definitely real.
Hey, he's sending them out. I'm gonna show y'all tomorrow on my video that I drop tomorrow night. Y'all gonna see. I'm gonna hold my JJ card up. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you.
Earbuds.
My new show will be between the earbuds. Yeah, that's when me and Dave are bringing back Skull Live too on that. So y'all make sure y'all tap in, man. You know I'm gonna chew his head off, man. We going Kirk all day because you already know it's me. I think I'm gonna just create the thumbnail where it's like me, my face, his face, and then just Kirk like in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's the new Skull Live logo. Like that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but man, we love y'all, man. For sure. We love y'all, man. Thanks y'all again. Y'all already know, stay tapped in with us. Holla at your boys, man. Skull Vikes, baby.
Skull Vikes.
Next episode.